Hello, 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 and welcome. This is the usual cameraman, Zach Ambrose, joined with Dave Ramberg for a triangular wrestling, called a match. Oop, turn you up a little bit. I'm not the usual volume guy. Is this one? That's should have done this before we went live. But anyway, we have Baldwin-Woodville, Ellsworth, and Osceola tonight. Starting off with Baldwin-Woodville versus Ellsworth. And we'll figure out our audio thing right now, but stay tuned. Maybe try that one over there.
Hello? Okay.
There we go. Now we're cooking with kerosene.
All right. Uh, yeah, little problems here. I'm not good with this stuff.
Now you just play with the camera, so.
I might have to move this camera. Oh, you got that at the scoreboard, right?
Yeah, that's
Okay. All right. I'll just move over here a little. So, for the Ellsworth fans and the Osceola people that are tuning in, we got a little old-fashioned system. Not quite old-fashioned, just I'm not sure of some of these kids, so we've got a number system, and down at the announcing table, whoever checks in for Ellsworth and Osceola. So I'll be a little delayed on who's coming up or who's out there wrestling, but I hope to get everybody's name out there, or we can look at the scoreboard too. So, right. All right. We're doing some announcements, and to start out with, this is our first of two home meets. Tonight, this is a conference meet, and then we have one February 2nd with Hudson and Waconia of Minnesota. So that should be another fun one. And if you're watching the camera, if you get a chance to see Coach Newt, we talked for quite a while before I got up here, and this should be a really good duel. So feel free to pipe in online here. I got mine up if I need some corrections. So just a quick heads up, tonight's wrestling, we're starting at 285, or heavyweight. Before we weigh in, they pick somebody to draw cards with the weights on them, and it's like a deck of cards, and they pulled out heavyweight. You don't get to see that too often. But instead of being the last ones, they can be the first ones. kind of missed who won the coin toss. That's going to play in real big. What we're going to do. So tonight we have two refs out there. Matt Maruzak from the Richmond and Steve Schutte from Menominee. Steve's the senior official in this region, so he kind of runs where everybody goes. So, and I, as a coach, I do like Matt. He's the younger one. He's a pretty solid ref. So we have Baldwin, Ellsworth facing off. With Ellsworth quick, their head coach Mark Mansick, two-time state champ from Ellsworth, went to Augsburg in the Twin Cities and won a D3 title, coached them. He also coached Augsburg to a team title. Now he's back at home, and his assistant coaches is Rob Heller, who's the football coach, Owen Mansick, Rourke Langer, both state place-winning wrestlers for Ellsworth, and a legendary Jack Radabaugh that's been involved for over 50 years. All right, we're starting out at heavyweight. We've got, for Baldwin-Woodville, we have Sam Aho, and for Ellsworth, we have Jeremiah Johnson. Sam is an 11th grader, played basketball for 2 years, wrestled in middle school. Now he came out to wrestling this year. He's our normal 215-pounder, but we get some matchups we want, so we sent him out at heavyweight. Jeremy Johnson is a 10th grader. So right now they're just fighting for some positions. Ellsworth with a 2-point takedown. And I want to apologize in advance. Been watching a lot of college. It's 3 points for a takedown. But it's still only 2 in high school. So I might yell out 3, but 2 sounds much better. So got a minute left. Ellsworth firmly in control on top. There's quite a bit of a size advantage. He's got his weight over top. And I'll go out on a limb. If Sam doesn't get to his knees, the ref might tap the mat and tell him to hustle. Uh-oh. He's gotten underneath with Sam and turned him in a butcher and gets the pin. So Ellsworth jumps out to a 6-0 lead. So it was if you're wondering why we moved 215 up, we've got some calculated moves. Strongest part of our team this year is between 126 and 175. We have a real tough right in through there. We got hit pretty hard, losing 8 seniors last year, but we have a big group of juniors. And a lot of them played football. We only have one. We have 2 seniors in our lineup, Colton Hush and Hunter Gloop. So Baldwin's going to have a lot of kids coming back next year. All right, at 106, we've got Peterson, Austin Peterson from Ellsworth, 11th grader. He's experienced. And we have Kane. Ooh, boy, how do you say that name? Porembo,
I believe, yeah.
Okay, all right. So Kane moved from the Richmond. He's got some experience. He was injured with the finger issue early, so he's only got a few matches under his belt. Works hard in the room. Austin's in on a takedown, and he's got 3 back points already. Saw him count to 5. And he gets the pin. So Ellsworth bolts out of the gate to a 12-0 lead here.
And I do apologize for the scoreboard camera not working. The charging is very sensitive, and it got bumped. And I just have to keep finessing with it. So hopefully it's up soon.
All right. Back to YouTube. All right. Oh, that's a shocker. That is a real surprise. So we forfeited at 113 to Ellsworth, and we moved Carter Benson up to 120. I believe Carson Wright got the forfeit from Ellsworth. We're very surprised. We thought he'd go up to 120. Ellsworth has got some depth at their lower end, and we just when we strategize for duels, and for everybody that's watching, it's a Baldwin fan. Yeah, we're down 18 to nothing, but we have some strategy involved to get some points back or to better matchups. So, kind of surprised. He's out. Noah Walker. Geez, I want to say he wrestled 106 at Northern Badger, and he's up to 120 right now. But looking at the weight sheets, he's definitely a 13-pounder, so I don't know what Ellsworth's doing with that. So I'm sure he'll be at a lower weight unless they're looking to move him up to fill something in. So there's a lot of stuff that goes on in the room, and then when you have to make weights, you never know what's going to happen. So, all right, we have a takedown by Noah Walker. And Ellsworth, again, up 18-0, but hold on. So the meat of our order comes at 126. Baldwin does have some injuries also, so that's why we got to move some guys around. All right, they went out of bounds. We got to restart in the middle. Ellsworth drops onto the ankle, tried to break him down. It looks like Carter got up and out of there, escaped, makes the score 2-1 in favor of Ellsworth. And I'd love to give you some more background on the Ellsworth guys, but I don't know quite. I know a few of them. So here's a takedown. Yep, they ruled it a takedown. Carter was in a bad spot on a fireman's carry, but Noah Walker got the takedown, and Carter bellied out, so no back points.
Scoreboard camera should be working, so now I can actually watch the match.
All right. All right, I'm looking at it. Is it working for you? Mine still shows
It's usually about like 20-ish seconds behind,
okay.
So very soon it should.
All right, Ellsworth wins the coin flip, and he says, I'm going back on the feet. I got 2 takedowns in the first, and I'm going to add to it. So it's 4-0 Ellsworth. So Carter Benson he was a 6-pounder last year, and now he's basically a 13-pounder, and so is Noah Walker. But we kind of moved him around. Carson Wright's a pretty solid wrestler. Placed at sectionals maybe twice. So big, tall, lanky kid that Carson Wright was. So we thought it would be better match if we moved Carter up. All right. We got about 50 seconds gone in the second period. No out of bounds, and they're still fighting for hand control and head position. Want to get up there. So if you're watching at home, if the refs if you're on that edge and they see you on your toes of your feet going out of bounds, they're going to ding you for stalling. They want to see the heels dug in and you're fighting back in. It's kind of a new one that they're pushing a little more this year. So I give the refs a lot of credit because they're looking inside to make sure everything's legal, and then they're also looking at their feet to make sure they're around. So that was a nice over-under. I think it was only 2 for a takedown. So you have to have 4 points of contact, so that would mean 2 knees, 2 feet, a hip, a knee, and 2 feet, any combination to make 4. So even though Carter was on his back, they did not give him any points. So that's the big difference for anybody just tuning in and has watched college. College, you basically just have to have a toenail clipping in, and they'll count. And same when you go to Minnesota. We were up there a few years ago, and Mr. Hunter Gartman pinned a guy, and his opponent's feet and butt were on the hardwood floor. But he had one toe in, and Minnesota is real close to college. It's real faster pace. So right now, Noah Walker is running a cross-face cradle, but the time ran out. So Carter is his choice in the third, and he is going down. Noah's up, Ellsworth's up 6-1 on 3 takedowns. Hopefully Carter can add an escape here. Noah looks like he runs a pretty tough cradle. That's kind of typical for Ellsworth. They're cradlers, and they like to be on the ankle, whether it's a hand or hook it with the leg. So being up here, Zach Ambrose, he's the basketball guy that does the camera, but I believe Zach told me at one point he did wrestle for La Crosse Central.
For about, well, not a full season. I had a bad hip, and I was learning how to wrestle. So you imagine it's hard to shoot and learn how to shoot when your hip hurts quite a bit. But my brother did wrestle varsity for 4 years, and that means I had 4 years of watching him wrestle. Back in and I've been telling people, the duels days.
Oh, here we got a quick, he got his head down and takedown into a near side cradle into a pinning combination. And he gets the pin. Ellsworth gets the pin, up 24-0. So, I'm sorry, Zach.
No, you're good. That is a great time.
Well, I think, did Mr. Jared Benrud, was he your coach
He
down there?
did, yeah, and he's the one that, when I did kind of go into the office and tell him I think I'm not going to do it anymore, I was a little scared, and he was actually more disappointed than anything. So, yeah, I do know Mr. Benrud, Coach Benrud, well. He was also my freshman football coach, too, when I was at Central.
And now he was at Ellsworth a few years ago. He's becoming quite a high-level ref. So for everybody looking, at 126, Baldwin-Woodville gets a forfeit with Drake Gartman. That brings the score 24-6. And we are plugging in. It kind of looks like Mr. Travis Kuhn. Started the year at 126, but he's moved back up. He's a freshman, and he's grown quite a bit. He's a fun 8th grader to coach last year. A pretty talented kid, long and lanky, and uses that leverage well. And he's going to go out against Gavin Rickey. So here we go. So that throws in just by going over it with Coach Newt earlier. We were kind of expecting this. I think Gavin Rickey weighed in as a light 26-pounder, but this day and age, Jake Gartman's a very good. He's ranked in state, very solid wrestler for us. So they're looking at getting their best advantage. Travis, a shot by Rickey, a nice stuff to head, and a nice go behind. Travis, like I said, long and lanky. I think, is he a quarterback in football?
Who's that?
Travis Kuhn. He's got him in a cradle.
I'm not sure. Not for varsity.
Oh, and Travis gets the pin at 132 to bring the Blackhawks to 24-12. So he's Travis, pretty solid athlete. He wrestled 126 in Medford right before Christmas, and I know he won one. And he might have won both of them down there. Pretty solid kid, just stuck behind some really good kids on the Baldwin team. Here comes Colton Hush, out at 138. He's our normal 132-pounder. And he's going to Mankato to wrestle next year, and Ellsworth forfeits to him. Just kind of like we planned. So it's all kind of... You know, when you get together with the coaches, we sit down and we do a lot of game planning. And
It's funny because it was 18 to nothing at one point, and you said something, and now it's 24 to 18.
Yeah, there's some forfeits. A lot of kids moving around, things of that nature. So right now, so we have a coin flip at the beginning. It's even or odd. So what match? We're at 145 right now. Whatever it is, we had to send out first. So next weight, Ellsworth will have to send out first. And it doesn't show it on the screen, but when we trotted out Mr. Wes Brosh at 144, they sent out a kid that was still warming up, so he had to get his jacket off real quick. And the other kid, they must gonna wait and send him up to 150.
I had Wes in class my first year in 4th grade, and I think it's the first time I've seen him since then. I remember he was a big wrestler. He loved wrestling back then, and good to see him on the mat.
He's off to a little bit of a slow start. He's between him and Garrett at 144. There's new weights this year, so that's a little confusing. We've been sending. Wes is a 138 pounder, but he was 144 earlier. We got a weight descent loss program that's really difficult for kids to lose. So he's been up at 150 a little. We switched Garrett and Wes around quite a bit. So he's even though he's weighing in at 140, he's wrestling kids 150, and
there you go.
Yeah, nice little takedown. Ellsworth is in the front headlock, and Wes came through, kind of dragged that arm and got around him. So, and he's wrestling Lundstrom, and I don't recall his name. He's a freshman. Looks like Ellsworth's got some good freshmen and coaching in middle school. They've got some solid kids that are going to come up. They they're like any other program. Their numbers are down a little, but they've had a great, successful football program. It goes late, and much like Baldwin had a great run this year, so our results at the beginning of the year were not the best. But getting the kids to the weights they're at and coming off some injuries, but that's exciting having a good football team. And Baldwin went to state and team, and they're going to be. We've got one of the toughest regions in the state, as far as I'm concerned, it's toughest in D2. So it's going to be, that one's going to be a fun one, and I still think we can place top 2 and get the team sectionals if everybody shows up and they're wrestling and things like that. So going into the second period, got a little blood time. Wes Brosh is up 2-0 over Matthew Lundstrom from Ellsworth.
Now read some of our sponsors that make this happen, starting with Baldwin Greenhouse, Firehelm Langer, Nielsen's Foods, St. Croix Garage Door, Strikers Lanes and Sports Bar, Timmerman Realty, Wisconsin Credit Union, St. Croix Custom Apparel, Baldwin Lightstream, CW Garage Door Distribution, Fenrin Jewelers, Schaefer Financial Service, Blackhawk Garage Door, O'Connell Funeral Homes, A-Star Concrete, Culvers of Baldwin, Family, Chiro Care, TMS Auto, Helverson Concrete Solutions, Whitecap Financial Advisors, Pete's Construction, American Family Insurance, Village Pharmacy, OEM Fabricators, Precision Excavating Enterprise, Precision Truck Service, and Western Wisconsin Health, and Bumper to Bumper, and DMS Repair.
All right, I was looking, I'm getting texts from the scoring table. Did West start down? I was looking down.
I was reading my ad too, so I'm not sure.
Well, whatever it is, either got a 2-point reversal or a 2-point takedown. Wes is riding pretty hard. He's got a tight waist on, and he's looking to control the wrist. So, and here's my dad joke of the night. And me being a bigger guy, and we've got we've got 2 big guys. Well, we got 5 big kids in the middle school. So my joke. Oh, nope. My joke is, all the small, thin guys you can get around their waist. How do you defend a tight waist act?
You have to tell me.
You eat more.
Oh, you eat more.
Yeah, so us big guys here, it's hard to get around our waist. So, all right, Ellsworth came from a little weird position. I think he got one swipe against him for back points. He popped out of there, got an escape to bring the score. West Brosh is up 4. Matthew Lundstrom, 1. So no. Kind of takes a shot to the crossbody shot as they go out of bounds. You always kind of, when you get to that edge, like I was saying earlier before, when you're on your toes or heels, it's always good to end, or if you go out of bounds, shooting your opponent off. The refs like that and makes you look like you're wrestling more. Now you get to some real high-end wrestling, and the kids know exactly what they're doing. They're just looking to restart. So going into the third period, both up. Both up. Baldwin, West Brosh is up 4-1.
So there really isn't much time between periods. That's something that I kind of
No, there really is. I mean, and the joke was years ago, if I was coaching, oh, nice. Little arm drag, got the guy out of position. Wasn't a real true shot, but it doesn't matter how you got to the dance, you're dancing. So there's a little, I believe, potentially dangerous call. Wes is really, we have a few kids, and I call them, and I use this term in a very good way. They're a little bit barnyardish. They're not afraid to get in weird spots and do weird things, like kids playing out in the back.
Mm-hmm.
And they're difficult to coach, and they're also difficult to coach against because, like Colton Hush ran into a problem earlier this year, being the number 1 ranked guy at state and two-time state finalist and 1-time third place. Inexperienced wrestlers, or these barnyard wrestlers, as I call them. West got called for stalling, riding parallel on top. He's got to get up to the side. But they don't do things conventionally, so you're taught when you're wrestling, you get in this situation, usually the arm is this place or leg, grab that, and these guys that like to just roll around, their legs and arms aren't where they're supposed to be. So it's sometimes you got to kind of back off and just let them do their thing. So we got 45 seconds left in the third period. West Brosh is holding a 6-2 lead, but the one thing, he's already got a stall call on him. And if he doesn't get off the side, which now he's just running the wrist and just trying to drive him over, get off to the side, which is good. He'll have to look for something similar real quick, or Mr. Shooty will probably ding him again for stalling. All right, 25 seconds left. If this sands, this is a good win for Wes. I think he's been a little injured, and here's an escape. We got 17 seconds. A takedown will bring him within 1, but if Wes is backing up and gives up that stall call, that could be a tied one going into OT. Wes is sitting with good inside position. Now he's a big front headlocker. Both Cole was like that. No takedown, a 6-3 win for Baldwin-Woodville. That makes the score Ellsworth 24, Baldwin 21.
Well, since 1935, Baldwin Greenhouse has been serving the Baldwin and surrounding area by offering the freshest flowers, plants, and gifts for any occasion. Some of the flowers and many of the plants are grown right on site. They'd love to help with anything you need. Give them a call at 715-684-2104 or visit online at baldwingreenhouse.com.
All right. Baldwin Greenhouse. Good place. Valentine's Day's coming up.
It is.
So, hey, if you're out there and you've gone to a lot of wrestling, it's on a Wednesday, get some flowers for the bride.
There we go.
So, this I do know. Here comes William Penn. He was a state kid last year. I believe he plays. Really solid wrestler from Ellsworth. He's a senior this year. Real long, lanky. At Northern Badger, he had a really good finals. He got second at Northern Badger. And that's our big Christmas tournament. Garrett and him wrestled. at the Christmas tournament. Garrett wrestled very well against them, but gave up the pin maybe in the third. I know I was coaching that one. William just keeps coming. He doesn't quit. He constantly has pressure on. He never lets your guy get to offense. As you're seeing here, one pinning combination to another. Garrett's a tough kid, and he just doesn't like to give up any points at all. Okay, he's got 2 swipes, 2 back points for William Penn, and a stop in action, a little potentially dangerous. Kind of looked like William Penn got Garrett's ankle in a weird spot. So yeah, there goes Ellsworth right down. We had a quick stand up, but they'll switch their hands and get on that ankle, and it's just tough when they got your ankle to straighten out. But for anybody that's watching, William Penn, he just constantly keeps pressure on. It doesn't, Garrett's fighting as hard as you can. Unless you've ever wrestled, it's hard to explain. The pressure's constant. He's got the legs split. He's getting one elevated.
Makes it look easy.
Yeah, he does. He's coming across with a cross face to the far shoulder. He's got the leg elevated. It's not quite a pinning combination, but he's doing it so well that he might get a pin out of it. So you got 3 at the end of the period. So William Penn is up 7-0 over Garrett Guthrie on the strength of a takedown and 2 back points, and then another situation with 3 back points. So going into the second, Garrett chews both up. I'm looking down again. So Garrett's going back to the 2-on-1. Some people call it the Russian, some 2-on-1. So I'm a old time 80 product wrestler, so I might say some things. If you even spent 1 year in the room, you're probably wondering what I'm saying at sometimes, Zach, because the terminology, and that's the biggest thing for us old timers. And a lot of these kids go to clubs. Nice takedown there and a little simple drag, just got him out of position and kind of slid by and got on top. For William Penn, extends his lead to 9-0. But and that's the biggest thing, closing the gaps with some of these kids that are going to different clubs, Victory and River Falls, Crassus and Eau Claire, Pinnacle in the cities. There's a few others around. It's gotten to the point where I've had to call up some club coaches and just say, hey, what are you calling this? Just so I'd be saying something different. The kids are confused.
Some universal, yeah.
Yeah. And it's a region thing. It's Jack Radabaugh too. He's getting up there, 50 years as a coach, and he's an All-American college wrestler. I believe he's even on the Olympic ladder back in the 60s. There's 3 back points for William Penn. Stretch his lead to 12-0. Right now it's a major. That'd be 4 points for Ellsworth. He gets the 15 points over Garrett. That'd be a 5-point to match and stop, and that'd be 5 points for Ellsworth. But here's the key: Garrett's really tough. That 1 point with a pin could be the duel. We could win by 1 point, and he fought off a really good wrestler. I mean, William Penn, I've seen him at number 1. Kid's kind of been moving around weight classes all over the state, but he's one of the favorite to finish top 3 for sure in state. And for everybody out there, Garrett is a very, very good kid. He's a JV state place winner. He was behind some really good kids the last few years. So he's a grizzled veteran coming out here, even though he hasn't wrestled a lot of varsity. He's a tough kid, and there's a kid that I'm thinking he's going to be in the placing match at sectional. So this tells you how good that William Penn is.
And I'm sometimes talking to Jim Larson, he kind of echoed that with, the Drake Artmans in the West. And, some of these kids had, there are a lot of seniors last year. And now you're seeing them on the varsity stage. And You find like actually they are good wrestlers. They're just behind really good wrestlers.
Yeah, and it's a great problem to have. I give a lot of credit because this day and age, there's a lot of kids. They're not going to be varsity. Sometimes don't want to stick it out.
Absolutely.
And wrestling's a tough sport. Nobody wants to get beat on for 2 years to get your crack at it. But I give credit to all these juniors. Not a lot of them have had a lot of varsity time. So, William Penn got 2 back points earlier. Now we're in a tough spot. Garrett's going to fight as hard as he can not to give up the pin because it's a tech right now. And he's got 20 seconds to fight off his back. I don't know what Garrett's doing, but Williams got his one leg, so he can't really. He's got both legs tied up, his knee into the thigh, and Garrett's fighting his hardest not to save that one team point. And 5, 4, 3. There, he rolled through. So that's good for the team. It's 5 points for Ellsworth team score, brings it 29-21.
Precision Excavating Enterprises is a full-service excavating, grading, and trucking contractor located in Baldwin, offering all types of residential and commercial earth-moving, septic systems, demolition, landscaping, driveways, and building sites. Our trucking division offers dump truck, grain hopper, and flatbed hauling services, sand, gravel, fill delivery. Serving the Baldwin and surrounding western Wisconsin areas, give us a call at 715-760-0768 for free estimates.
Oh boy. I'd like to say a lot about that one, but I worked with Darren.
Okay.
Years ago. I've known him for years. I think you'll get it if you need something from Darren. I think he'll get her done in Baldwin, and if you tell him you're a big supporter of Baldwin wrestling, he might give you a discount.
Oh.
I doubt he will. He's a basketball guy.
I was going to say, I had to ask him, like, wait, did he wrestle? Keegan was quite the basketball player.
And if you do, just tell him Dave Rambrick said so, and you might get a giggle and get charged more. So.
Yeah, I was going to say you get charged more for that.
So yeah, Darren's done well. So it's great that he's a sponsor, and really appreciate that. Really helps that out. So now we've got Blake Nelson and Graydon Monacan. Now Graydon's our normal 150 pounder, but with all the juggling, he's up at 157 today. And I believe, gosh, I got to look at Blake. Blake Nelson is their 150 pounder also. What is kind of fun to say, Blake went to Baldwin, got a start in wrestling in Baldwin, and then family moved.
Oh.
So I remember coaching Blake, and I'm sure Graydon has wrestled him before.
What class is he?
He's a junior.
He's a junior? So you think he went here when he was in elementary school then?
Yes.
Okay.
He left maybe. What grade do you teach?
I teach 4th and 5th, but
okay,
when he was in, so when he was a 4th grader,
is that when
I
he
would have been
moved?
here? Yeah, it must have been.
So he might have moved by then, but Graydon with a nice double leg. He's one of the old-fashioned. We don't see too many double legs anymore, but we still teach it in the youth, middle school, and the high school. And Graydon might be the only guy that shoots it. So Graydon's putting a heck of a ride on. He's digging down. He had both wrists, had him flat, and got the stall warning. That's nice to put in your pocket with 30 seconds left. So nice hard ride here. So it's Graydon's choice in the second, and he's deferring to Mr. Nelson. So yeah, he's choosing top. Guarantee a cradle will come. But while we got Graydon out here, he floated in. He made sectionals last year.
Yeah.
He wasn't in the lineup every duel, but when it came to count, he was out there. We tossed him out as a freshman too, as a real gamer, heck of an athlete. Played wide receiver and quarterback for the football team.
Yeah, very good football player.
Tough kid, and I think we had that big who's the great athlete in Baldwin, and his dad Tim was personally one of the best athletes I've ever seen.
Okay. Yeah, I've heard good things.
Great football player, basketball player, And the beauty of it is we coached together for 3 years in the middle school. He's a middle school football coach, but he also coached wrestling. Very good. He loves wrestling, but he played basketball in high school. So for everybody seeing, Ellsworth, notoriously, for as long as I can remember, I remember getting ridden out by these Ellsworth guys, trapped in the ankle, looking for the cradle. There you go. Nice grade, and he got the arm caught and to the back. With a nice little reversal, Graydon came through, scooped ahead. Now Graydon's up 4-0. Yes, with more to come. Nice job, Graydon. Way to come out of that ride and pick up 16 points. So here's it brings it to 29-27 Baldwin. Go ahead with some more.
Yeah. A-Star Concrete Plumbing is proud to be family owned and operated in Wisconsin. We pride ourselves on maintaining a high quality, unique fleet and very knowledgeable staff to complete all projects. From smaller residential projects to large scale commercial enterprises, A-Star Concrete Pumping has the equipment, staff, and experience to handle all of your concrete needs. Contact them at 715-246-3920.
All right, A-Star. When they say in Wisconsin, and I listen to a lot of Blackhawk TV, I see them in Minnesota too.
Yeah, all over.
Yeah, and I think if you got something in Green Bay, I think they'll run down and do it.
The concrete work for some of these kids in the summer would be
very
good to stay in shape.
Well, I'll bring you up. We have Taden Holdorf, who's ranked very high, second at Northern Badger. Taden he's always been good, but he's wrestling at a whole new level this year. And I hate to put him pressure on a junior in high school, but this kid is, the way he's wrestling, the kids he's beaten, easily can be a top 5 kid at state. He's out there against, oh boy, Isaac Herbison.
Yeah.
Okay, and he is a senior. Taden's one of the juniors. For anybody that's watching, I was teasing Taden in the room. I call him Al Bundy because he scored 4 touchdowns in a high school football game. He doesn't understand it, but the old timers can respect that. So he's got the nice takedown. He's riding tough. So when you saw William Penn earlier from Ellsworth, Taden is also like that. Constant pressure. He's got a good, tight waist, strong kid. He's another guy. His dad, not Blackhawks, St. Croix Garage Doors.
I think that's coming up.
Yep, and his dad is the owner of that. And Taden's been working since he's 8 years old. I think he still does some lawn mowing.
Yeah, it's good.
When you talk concrete, we had a few kids. Drew Stark does some concrete for Pac-Man.
Yep, and I know.
And Ty Fink from last year. We've had a few wrestlers do concrete. Yeah, concrete is that's a tough job. Taden with an armbar over pin. Nice. So Baldwin-Woodville, I can proudly say 33, Ellsworth 29, our first lead of the evening.
Good to see. Well, one of my favorites, whether we're cooking the perfect butter burger to order or scooping up our freshest batch of the flavor of the day, we work hard to ensure you will always leave happy. We know you have a lot to do and many options to choose from, so we appreciate when you take the time to visit Culver's of Baldwin.
All right. Taden's our normal 157 pounder, but we move him up to 165. And then we're going to send out, looks like Andrew Thompson. And if you haven't seen any wrestling, he's our normal 165 pounder. And I believe he is wrestling Ethan Vienendahl, which is a Baldwin name.
I was going to say, he's got to be related to one of the families in some way.
Maybe distantly, Dusty Vienendahl, that has the
wrestler
printing,
too.
Yeah, the printing shop downtown. Hands to the face. These two have wrestled. I think last year they wrestled at 190, and they were both very underweight. I think we had to get Andrew to drink a bunch of water to get over. You know, once again, they've changed the weights this year, so it would be too hard for me to explain everything. But We're now at 175, and we have Andrew and Ethan out here. But these might be the two tallest 165 pounders. I'm pretty sure Ethan can wrestle 165.
Tall and lanky.
Yeah. Kids I hated because I was hated to wrestle because I'm so short.
Do you think they're used to wrestling other guys who are also tall and lanky?
No, and that's the one interesting aspect. Having him wrestling around Graydon's weight and Tatum's weight in the room, the takedown for Ethan. They can get accustomed to wrestling some taller guys. Graydon's stretching out, but Tatum's still a little shorter. So that's the biggest thing, is finding tall guys to wrestle so you can get used to wrestling them. So, and hey, you look at the lighter weights, we got some tall, stringy guys down low too. So Andrew will, the one thing Andrew has, and we'll probably see it at some point here, is both of these two, scouting and what we got to look out for, they're both very good in the top position. And Ethan's putting that on. Like I said, it's a trademark of Ellsworth. Baldwin, we spend a lot more, wrestling changes like every other sport. We spend a lot more time on our feet. That's where we feel we're better. So sometimes, it's hard to coach bottom. So sometimes it just takes a mental aspect to get away. But it's something we're going to work on going forward. Red deferred, green, Ellsworth decided to take both neutral. Feeling pretty confident off that little scramble takedown they had. So, you've been away for a little while. Going through wrestling, Zach, you got drilled single legs, double legs, firemen's.
Very basic, yeah.
We still do a lot of that, but wrestling, back in the middle school this year, there's 4 aspects of wrestling: drilling, technique, live, and situations. At least that's what I use. I've gotten to the point now in the high school, we do a lot of it. We put kids in situations now and let them wrestle through them. Instead of trying to set them up and shoot a single leg and then do that, now we're looking feet to back, get them in a scramble situation when it's still neutral, maybe catch them, and all of a sudden, instead of getting 2 for a takedown, you get 2 back points also, or 3 back points. So that's kind of how wrestling's evolved. And what's a real impressive thing, we're working on the middle schoolers, but the last few years we've had about 8 to 10 kids that can do backflips.
Yeah, just athletic.
Yeah, cartwheels, round-offs. It's kind of fun, and when the cheerleaders a few years ago were looking at doing some of this stuff, I said, why don't you come down to the wrestling room before practice? Because these guys challenge each other to stuff. And it's kind of impressive. I think we had a kid this year, and I can't remember, did a front flip. And it's just like, that's pretty impressive. You're running to a front flip. So and they take great pride in this. And Jacek Nikowski, state champ from 2019, he kind of brought that into the room. He brought it all the way through, and everybody's kind of caught on. And I think over the years, we've had big 220-pounders doing backflips. So,
yeah, the one thing I can remember is, well, and as a runner, I love it, was the conditioning in wrestling, unlike any other sport, was more intense and almost more interesting. I mean, like, firemen carrying people all the way up and down the hallway.
Up and down stairs.
Pretty much, and it's just, I was like, wow.
So, going into the third period, Ethan is up 3-1 off a takedown and a stalling, and Andrew has 1 off of hands to the face. But Andrew's choice, he took top, which is unique. You got to turn the guy for points, but Andrew's a leg rider. And we've been working with him extensively, how to use the legs, and he's becoming very, very good. When you're 6'3" and you got these long legs, especially when you're wrestling a shorter guy and he gets him all broke down and on his belly. It's just a nightmare to try to get away. So now he's got the leg back in. He's stepping over. He's looking for the banana splits, which is, if it was up to me, we'd outlaw the move, but it's legal. Yep, he's pushing. The kid felt the banana splits coming, so he bailed out, and Andrew got a stall call. But looking at it, we've got 45 seconds. Can he get 2 more stall calls, or can he finally turn them? Yep, there's one. 38 seconds left. Oh, no, Ethan got one. Oh, parallel riding. My bad.
Is that pretty frequent call? I feel like
Well, it's kind of all over the place. I've noticed it's starting to tighten up a little bit. Beginning of the season, every ref's got their own opinion on it. It's starting to get a little more universal what they're looking for. And like I said, you know, with the out of bounds, they can go stalling or fleeing the mat. And it's kind of interesting talking to the refs, and I got a chance to talk with Matt, the younger ref, about it. And he's got a brother, Ben, that are good young refs. Glad to see him reffing. But they're pretty consistent. Well, Andrew, as we like to say it in the wrestling, wrote him out for the loss.
that's what it seemed like. It seemed like he had timed how much ground control.
So,
Well, members of Wisconsin Credit Union can access account information and take care of most everyday banking needs via the Wisconsin Online, the mobile app, and text banking. Immediate access to your Wisconsin accounts is also available 24 hours a day via touch-tone phone. Contact Wisconsin Credit Union to learn more. Yeah, it seemed like last 2 periods he
wrote him out, yeah. That's his best spot, and we're trying to get him better. Ellsworth's always been a tough team, well coached in those. Hard to get the turns, but we're coming out with Mr. Kelton Graff, Ellsworth, a senior. They have him listed at 215. We're at 190 right now, so I'm not sure what's going on. Now we have Mr. Drew Stark. Drew in on a takedown. For an early 2-0 lead. Drew is very intelligent. From what I'm told, he's got 3 AP classes going, and he's been academic all state.
Yep, he's a track and field athlete too. Great teammate.
And he's just a hard-working kid, strong kid. Probably doesn't realize how strong he is. He's in what the beauty of this academic all-state, they take in your state place winning and your sectional placing. Well, he made sectionals last year and didn't place there, but he still bypassed people that placed at sectionals because his GPA is so high.
Good.
I think he's one of those kids that's over a 4.
Probably, yeah. I was never there, but
No. Bright kid, and he's a ball of energy in the room. We constantly have to tell him to slow down because he's given up a couple full Nelsons. He forgets to take the arm out one side and puts it in on the other, but he won't quit. And he did do a little work for Pac-Man Concrete, Nick Pack, the NSIC ref. Also,
oh, yes, yeah.
I was teasing him. I didn't realize that. He had a nicer NSIC shirt than I have. I don't have any, but...
How did you get that?
Yeah, and he told me he's reffing. So, I kind of brought it up to Max as coach, and he's going to see what he can do.
I was going to say, because Augustana's in...
The NSIC.
NSIC, yeah.
And I think he said he did Augie girls basketball. So the period ended 2-0. Drew went down, and he is standing up. Yep. And gosh, did he just get him? Yep. You have 5 to 7 seconds to return your man, and 18 seconds later, he got the stall call. So he got a penalty point for stalling, the escape call. He's got the takedown, and he's got Mr. Kelton Graff in a bad. Oh, Drew. Oh, no, Drew. Oh, Drew. Oh, boy, this is not good. Drew is dominating this, has gotten reverse, and he is tight on the back. And to be honest, if we lose it, we lose the duel. All right, like I said.
There we go.
Why did I even doubt? Drew is a tough kid. A ball of energy, and unfortunately, you saw his ball of energy. He will get thrown to his back once in a while.
I was like, what do you think happened there? He was so close to.
Yep, he had a nice pinning combination, and when you get him over the near side, a lot of people use their head, the post, because you have both hands locked up, and he didn't get his head out quick enough. He uses his head. Oh, Drew's in a bad spot here. Drew uses his head for book, where a guy like me would use my head to brace myself and risk injury.
Yeah.
Drew needs the belly out.
10 seconds.
Yeah, he needs 10 seconds to get out of this ordeal. There, he's on his belly. Let's hope he ends the period like this. And he'd be up 6-5. Nice period. Second period's got to go to Ellsworth on that one.
Yeah.
You know, and it's high school sports, so there's no ring girls.
Oh, jeez.
At this point, the coaches are sending him down. There, Drew gets to his feet. Drew gets to his feet. Up, back to the mat. Drew needs the belly out. His left leg, he's giving him the cradle. If he gets his both hands off the mat, they'll call it potentially dangerous. There, he's both hands on. There you go. Run, Drew, run. Oh, they gave him the escape. I thought they gave him another penalty point. I was like, good. But just an escape. Now Drew's got to stay inside.
What's the advantage between period 3?
Say that again, please.
It says advantage with 0-0-0-0.
Well, that's riding time for college.
Okay.
These scoreboards are very in-depth.
Okay.
And we can call riding time, things like that, which we don't have that in high school. It's college. They can show you everything. They kind of showed me the program a little bit, and I was just shocked that it was that advanced. And I'm definitely probably a guy that should not be running it either.
So do you save some of your... So I'm trying to think. There seemed to be a lot of pins right away, and then the last few matches, it's gone all 3 periods.
Yes, and that's... I'm not sure exactly, and I don't want to start giving out teenagers weights because that becomes a big thing, whereas everybody's going with the weight descent. But I'll go on a limb. Drew's our normal 175-pounder, and he's wrestling up at 190. So early we're looking for the mismatches, and we got them. Now we're, maybe we're giving up some weight, and it's just harder to get the pins when you're giving up weight. Drew's got a cradle locked in, and he did not go the right way. He powered out of that one. I'm happy to see no points. Like I said, Drew gets a little excited at times. But overall, he's having a pretty good year.
Still in it.
Oh boy. The way this started, I was hoping Drew would get the pin. and we'd win the duel, but it's coming down to the last match.
Like the script.
Yeah, like the script.
All right, Nielsen's Foods has been serving communities since 1903. We offer full-service Caribou coffee, bakery, deli, and meat departments. We pride ourselves with our award-winning Nielsen's market meats and our friendly staff. Nielsen's vision is to build a strong family of customers and employees by delivering superior service to our customers, offering employee growth opportunities, reinvesting in our stores, and serving in our communities.
All right. Nielsen's is a staple. They also have one in Ellsworth, too. So
Yep, quite a few of them.
yeah, Zumbrota, Glenwood City.
Glenwood City, yeah.
And they have one more. I think they have 5 stores.
It's not Amory. I can't think of it.
Oh, Clear Lake, their original
Clear
store.
Lake,
Yeah.
yes.
So right now we have a freshman, Brecken Young. We're throwing out a freshman. We got Trevor Murdoch. Good athlete, second year of wrestling. All the marbles come down to this. Trevor, tough kid. Sounds like he's working himself into a role with the football team. Played,
Yep.
once again, I think they had some pretty good linemen.
Yeah,
So
very good lineman.
he probably played some this year, I believe, on defense, he said. Fun kid to have in the room, well built. He came in heavier last year as a freshman, and he was well built. So it sounds like he likes to hit the weight room, so we're looking for big things. And he was another one that came in at about 205 pounds. Now he's down to 190. And he's eating 2 meals a day at supper.
Just trying.
Yep. Yeah, he got caught in a simple over-under, which, he's a tough kid, and he's pushing really hard. And getting that arm on the back is not fun. If he's got to get it off his back. Oh, he's doing a good job fighting it so far. He hasn't even given up any back points yet, which I find is pretty amazing. He's got a post. Can he hold it for 30 seconds?
It's a lot of core strength.
Yeah, a lot of core strength, and the pain your shoulders are in. Like I said, Trevor's second year of wrestling, pretty solid kid. He's new. Three, 2, 1. He's coming off his. All right,
Oh,
nice.
there we go. Oof.
So Ellsworth's up 5-0.
Who is that more tiring for, would you say?
Well, that's a combination. They list this Brecken as a freshman, and I'm sure there's some nerves being a freshman. You're a big varsity wrestler. So he's trying his hardest to pin him. Sometimes kids wear out on top. Getting stuck in that spot, looked like Trevor posted pretty good, and like I said, locked his core in and wasn't fully getting him turned over. But also the joys of having a young kid, sometimes that's pretty new. Sometimes the more experienced kids get thrown to their back and they get a little disgusted, or as my son would call in college, they start breaking a little bit.
Yeah.
But young kids that are new, that work hard, like Trevor, he's like, well, whatever. I'm a young wrestler and I've been here before. Let's just get off the back and go to the next period. So yeah, he looks. The one thing, Baldwin's in pretty good shape right now. I was impressed with the conditioning. I stopped by on Tuesday. Now I'm in the middle school, and they were doing the ever-present log rolls, and they were muscling through them pretty good. I actually had to give some credit to some kids that I normally don't. They were really hustling.
And it's hot in that wrestling room.
Well, yeah, it's not too bad in there. We'd like it a little warmer, but there's always one day a year, I don't know where the controls are, but it is a scorcher in there.
It's just hot.
Yeah, and our luck is it's the year we haven't had it yet, but it'll be a day that's 50 degrees and it'll be way hot in there. All right. I'm not sure who had the choice. Had a little tape. Here's another little thing, and I got to poke at Jason's cell, but all the schools are doing it. There's 2 styles of tape.
Yeah.
And tape's pretty, $15 a roll, so everybody's looking for the cheap stuff.
Of course.
And in Baldwin's no different. I still, in the middle school, have the box of the old yellow stuff I should bring over for duels. And that stuff lasts forever. So both up. Ellsworth up 5-0. If we just had a rain delay right now and they called it, we'd win.
Yeah, right.
Only a 3-point decision. So, if snow, rain wants to come, that'd be all right.
Yeah. Bills tomorrow. Who knows if the impeding the snow coming here. Where did you guys practice wrestling back when you were in high school here? Was it? Because that was a basketball court, unless you still could have practiced there, I guess.
Well, no, we had, when you go into the Old South Gym, walk through the side doors across from, is it the guidance office?
Yeah, or that's, yeah, the
Sue Warner's and the Cooks areas. When
Yeah.
you walk in there, you could see where the bricks replaced, but we had another hall where you'd walk in and about 10 feet and take a right and go downstairs.
Oh.
And we had the varsity locker rooms were down there, and then the visitors' locker room was down there. It was dank with a light that flickered. The wrestling room doubled as a weight room. It was downstairs with a big post in the middle.
Of course.
And the smell that came out of there was not human.
Grotesque.
I can say it now because it's been filled in, but yeah, there was mold everywhere in there. I'm sure at some point in my life. Oh, nice. Both up. All right. That's a huge confidence boost for Trevor right there, that takedown at the end. A little too late. I'm not going to argue it. We don't have a brick like they do in college. But Trevor came back from being on his back, and he's unaffected, unworried. He's really working inside real good. Got a good collar tie, and he's controlling that far wrist. Strong kid. Switched his collar tie. Now he's inside. We'd like to see that. He's in control. Not Ellsworth. They're kind of fighting. Trevor, being the big football guy he is. Cole Tobin has been working out of town. He's a former Badger, phenomenal wrestler for the Badgers from Hudson originally. We've been working inside, but we've been using a lot of football things with them. The drags, the positioning where to put your head, and he's really latched on to that. It's kind of a lot of fun.
What, Charlie's husband?
Yes,
Oh,
Charlie,
okay, yeah.
yep.
I think, does he help with the design? Like, I think he might have helped with the track.
Yeah, he
That's
was
right.
the guy.
I did meet him, yes, okay.
Yes, he's a big dude, and to see him wrestle, he's a big boy, and he'll drop in the splits and wrestle out of the splits. You don't see big guys do that.
No, you don't.
He was a big help the last few years with Mason, went to state. Max went to state. Blaine. We've had a lot of bigger kids, and he's done a great job with them. And he's starting to, Trevor and Sam's coming back. They're really showing a lot of things. We're all working with them on the same stuff. He's a really intelligent wrestler. So at this point, we can't run out and tell Trevor, but I said hold on for 28 seconds, we win the duel. But Trevor's a competitor, and he's going to go for something here. So that's the other beauty. No timeouts in wrestling.
No.
You gotta just hope and pray. Maybe you get a blood time and you can say, hey, this is what you got to do the last 10 seconds. Yeah, snap them down again. There we go. That's, yes. Yes. Mr. Brecken Young wins 5-2. Trevor is not happy, but that brings the score to 36-35 in Baldwin-Woodville's favor. So you probably need to write a few things or say a few things. I think the youth has got a little fundraiser going on, so I got some texts and I said, "Yep, let's do it."
Let's do it.
So, but you go ahead and
Yeah, I'll
your
read
stuff.
a couple of these. Firehelm Langer is a CPA firm with our offices in Baldwin, Ellsworth, and River Falls. At Firehelm Langer, our clients are our top priority. We offer the skills and expertise of a large CPA firm combined with the personal attention and responsiveness of a smaller firm. When you partner with us, we take the time to get to know you, understand your goals, and build a lasting professional relationship. We invite you to turn to us at Firehelm Langer for bookkeeping services, payroll services, financial projections, tax preparation, tax planning, and all of your accounting and tax needs. And tax season is coming up here, so wouldn't be a bad time to give them a call.
No, yeah. I'm I'm the guy that claims about $1 million on my taxes, and I got to pay in. So I usually do mine on April 15th, April 17th,
Late
if
as
they
you
push it to
possibly
June.
can.
Yeah. So, but yeah, like I said, Baldwin went to Port Washington last weekend, just north of Madison. A real fun tournament. A lot of D1 schools there. And Andrea Gartman texted me because I was in Iowa. Said they're doing some kind of game, and I said, "Yeah, if you can do it, do it." So I got a text today, said we needed a bunch of dollar bills. So I'm not quite sure what the game is, but it sounded like it went over well talking to the coaches that were down there, so they got a good chuckle out of it. So I'm kind of waiting. Maybe it'll be after the next duel. But
And they're at Aquinas tomorrow, I see on the schedule.
yes,
Interesting
that's
to me.
well. They've got Aquinas,
You know who else is there?
Fenimore,
Fenimore.
top two teams in D3, and they're good. I believe it's Fenimore, and then Gale, Ettrick, Trempealeau,
GET.
and Melrose Medora, Pete Peterson. So, and he's our district representative. So, whenever we vote on things, it's usually at sectionals, and Pete gets up there and gives a spiel. I think he's a principal at one of the districts.
Okay.
But yeah, that's I'm not sure where it's going to be on. I would guess Aquinas. So you got to Google on YouTube.
Somewhere, yep.
Aquinas is a private school, and they
It
have
sure is.
but they have a wrestling club down there called Law.
Law Lacrosse Area Wrestling.
Yes.
I remember that when my brother,
And they're putting out some really good kids, and they're all I'm going to say this as politically correct as I can. They're kind of going to Aquinas. I forgot who the head coach is.
Yeah, I wouldn't.
College wrestler, really solid. And he's a good coach, so there's a lot of draw there. But yeah, they've got a couple really, really good kids. There's an Aquinas kid, Jake Fitzpatrick. He's probably around 120. Will be a teammate of Colton's next year.
Oh, okay.
At Mankato. He's a real solid wrestler. So, and then they've got a heavier guy, 175, 190, right in that ballpark. I think he's wrestled at both this year. He's going to the Badgers.
The Badgers, okay.
David Meline. So they're a pretty solid team. They came up last year and had a duel, and we're going down. And Fenimore, the old Ellsworth coach, Chad Stealth, is the Fenimore coach. And there's another club in that area that his brother runs, Broxdell. So they've got, they're turning out some good wrestlers. That southwest part of the state is really good Division III wrestling. So that's we got an uphill battle, but we, like I said, going to Team State last year and the last couple of years being a really good team. We're kind of looking at knowing Aquinas has 14 pretty good kids. So with having a kid like Colton and a Drake Gartman and a Tayden Holdorf, that a lot of teams will forfeit to them. So, but we know if we get the better teams, they won't get the forfeit in.
Yep.
So they'll get some matches, and that's the beauty of it. So it's kind of a juggling act when we look at doing the season. We got to get into the tournaments and get certain kids matches. I know that some kids end up going 0-2, but and then we got to do some team ones, so everybody. It's just kind of a balancing act. These kids seem to like duels. I think next year they maybe will do more duels.
More duels.
You know,
I remember at Central they had like a light above the mat, and they turned
Yeah.
off the lights. Oh, it was cool. It was so loud and just it was awesome.
That is, I want, and I bounced it off. I'd love to get a light that would come right down. Some people like it, some people don't. I think it's awesome. My son wrestled a duel earlier this year. They shut the lights off, and they were the away team, so they didn't get the good walkout music.
No.
They won the duel though handily, but it's kind of fun. It's kind of dark out, and then everything's on the middle, but you got to have the right mat to do it too. If you get a white mat, then it's almost blinding.
Yeah, it's true. It's almost like the darkness is almost like a backyard, back alley brawl, and it's
Yeah.
But
But I think it's really fun in college. No, was it Campbell and Wyoming wrestled in a barn
in a barn.
earlier this year? There wasn't cattle in there. It was more of a barn that has weddings and that. But the whole setting, the hardwood floor, and then they put out this mat, and it was made, and the inside was like an old rock stone pit,
Yeah.
like the old gladiators. It was a
Gladiators, yeah.
Yeah, and I don't know how many people they had in, but they filled the barn up, and it was a lot of fun. So it was kind of cool to watch early in the year kick it off. Iowa and Oklahoma State did one on a football field that drew 40-some thousand. Some of the two premier programs. And that was a lot of fun. Then Penn State, who's won 9 out of the last 10, 8 out of the last 10 national titles. They'll pack in 10,000 into theirs.
Incredible.
And, Gophers, 5,000 on a regular basis. A lot of music. Baldwin's starting to pick it up with some more music, walkouts. It's whatever. And I'm hoping if Adam Bassak's listening, on February 1st, when we were having Waconia and Hudson come to town, we're certainly hoping that the band can get in. Nothing better than having a band at a pep band at basketball and football. That's awesome.
Absolutely. I'll tell Jeremy I'll do it for free too, but it'd be too bad, zoom in on the wrestling too. If he's here and I'm working the camera.
Well, yeah.
It makes it look better. You can zoom in quite a bit and you can see a lot more of the.
Well, yeah, and if that works, I know. So, the backstory to this, and if I could pat my back, I won't. But so we sat down. We had another quad set up before Christmas. So our schedule came out, and they changed how we can do things a couple years ago. It used to be 7 tournaments and 7 dual meets. Well, with some teams that's lesser, you're making all the guys make weight and drive an hour to, I'll just say Osceola, and I'm not saying they were bad. Well, we might only have 5-6 matches, and they'd be done in 20 minutes, and what a waste of time.
Yeah.
School expenses, taxpayers, and everybody knew this. So in COVID, they let us have these quads, and it went over very well. So there's less meets. We're able to get refs because we're getting shortage, things like that. So now we got a chance, if we bring in another school, we can get some matchups. Right now, Osceola's riddled with injuries, and they're going to be giving up a lot of forfeits, but they're just looking to get a few good matches with their guys. But so they went to 14 events total and 50 matches going into regionals at the most. So it gave us the freedom. So we went out. My son's teammates, there's 4 kids from Waconia out there, and the former head coach has 2 kids on the team. And then there's a family that's from Waconia that all their relatives live in Baldwin or Spring Valley. So I kind of reached out, and we got something to work, and then we got Hudson. And I was like, okay, great. I'm going to launch this on February 1st, and then Augustana came out with they had to move a match that night.
Of course.
But looking at it, I think Max would be all right with me missing that one. He's wrestled the kid, beat him quite handily 2 times, or 1 time for sure. They're a brand new program this year after having 13 years off.
Who's that?
The University of Sioux Falls.
Sioux Falls, huh? Okay.
And they're 4 blocks apart. So
Jeez, yeah.
Because it's going to be kind of fun. Waconia's, they've been to Team State a few times over the last few years. They've had some really good kids. Like I said, Max is wrestling with 4 of them. And then they have Max McAnally, who's undefeated 184 freshman for them. And he's a world bronze medalist in the Worlds at U17.
Wow.
And he was a finalist for Mr. Minnesota football. Yeah, I think like 6,000 career rushing yards.
My goodness.
He's a phenomenal athlete, and he chose wrestling over anything. So it's kind of fun, and his older brother's on the Augustana team with my son. But
Where do you go to high school?
Waconia.
Waconia, okay.
So they've got a really good program. Once again, they got a couple tough kids that we wanted our guys to match up with. And Hudson's a top 10 team in the state in D1.
Okay.
And they're just down the road. I'd like to say the last time we wrestled them, we beat them 50-something to 15. I'm sure if Chris is listening, the coach, he probably didn't like that. But we got them back on the schedule again. It'd be kind of fun to do some stuff with them. They're a very good team this year. So it's them and Waconia is going to be a fun duel. And,
okay, yeah.
You know, and we can sneak a few matches in and make them really close with both of them. Maybe even knock one of them off. So.
Yeah, so there's a time I was talking to Coach Newton about how seating is done at these tournaments.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Can't remember exactly what he was saying, but it kind of, I don't say he got animated, but maybe. Maybe he. Okay, that's a good word to say then.
So, So, what's unique to wrestling is they've outsourced this. There's a Wisconsin Rapids wrestler, from what I understand, went to the University of La Crosse, and for a project, for a school project, invented this track wrestling.
Okay, yep, and that's,
And he sold it a few years ago. He invented it in the mid-2000s, so he graduated in about late 90s. Did it at college. At least I could be wrong, and if I am, please let me know, but he sold it for several million to Flow Wrestling, which I think
Flow Wrestling,
is owned by NBC. So we enter everything, and they have criteria and everything on that. And it's really an interesting thing. They come up with their own formulas, and it's made seating instead of walking in there the old days and just arguing, my kid's better than your kid.
Yeah.
They didn't wrestle, that. I better get to this quick. We have Austin Peterson from Ellsworth with an early takedown over Mr. Andy Willeman, whose dad is the middle school coach. Oh, there's a quick fall by Austin Peterson for Ellsworth to jump out 6-0. But they, so going back to track, but they don't take in consideration head-to-head.
No, and that's what I think he was saying was,
yeah. So Tayden Holdorf finished second at Northern Badger. And ideally, when you set up tournaments, you want the top 4 seeds to be in the semifinals. Well, Tayden got seeded number 9, even though he beat 2 or 3 kids seated in front of him. Because last year they placed at Northern Badger and Tayden did not.
No.
But, which, they got to take this into consideration. One, Tayden was 9 and the kid that he had pinned was 8. Well, Tayden gets on a roll and knocks off the 8 seed, the 5 seed, and the 1 seed to make the finals. And you don't like to see a kid coming out of nowhere and busting a bracket like that.
No.
And considering we had voiced our opinion to various people, said, I redid it with as fair as I could, and I had him at a 6 seed and having him match up with the 3rd seed in the quarterfinals and then having the 2nd seed. But, that's kind of the irritation. So a lot when we get to the tournament series at regionals, and the Ellsworth coach is very vocal, and we sit here and argue, and we got 13 teams and we got to vote on it, and it turns into who's buddies with who. So we try to really be nice to everybody, which, oh yeah, we'll give the Baldwin guys the nod, and they'll kind of turn, okay, at whatever weight, we got a guy, I'd love to have you a favor. So, and then you get into that. So,
Yeah.
all right, we've got Mr. Crumry, Hunter Crumry. I remember coaching against him. So at 113, Carson Wright, quick takedown, up 2-0. Carson is I gotta look, he's been around forever. He's a senior. Senior at 113. So, but I will, for everybody that's watching, Osceola has some injuries. I believe they forfeit everything after 165.
Oh.
But they last year coaching in middle school, they have they have 6 freshmen in their lineup, and they've got a nice group of 8th graders too. They've really done a good job. They're coached by Cal Gerber, 3-time state champion, wrestled at the Cross. He's from Cameron. He's working up there. The old coach did a great job. He's come in, a young kid, done a great job, and then their assistant coach is Clint Strum.
Strum, yeah.
And
There's some Strums in Baldwin.
Yeah, well, there's a lot of them in Ellsworth. And the ones that were in Baldwin were from Ellsworth.
Is it Mark Strum?
Yep.
Okay, really good football player, too.
Then the dad was a state place wrestler and a stud football player back in the early 80s.
Because one of his daughter ran cross country, and she was
Yes.
talking about it, and she showed me a picture, and he had so many tackles in a season. I'm like, that's like 15 tackles a game.
Yeah,
It's like,
he's Mark's a nice guy. Kind of got to know him and coached. One of his kids wrestled for Ellsworth. I think he had a daughter play basketball at St. Croix Central, and then he had a couple kids graduate. One graduated last year, and I think his daughter is. You still coaching her?
Yeah, she's a freshman, Delaney, and then there's another one that's a 5th grader, Tenley.
Yeah, there's a lot of kids in the family. A lot of kids. All seem to be pretty nice kids.
Yep.
The mom's family, she was a Maelstrom and some state champs and state place winners in that family for wrestlers. So, but all right, it was 2-1 going into the second. Hunter Crumry got an escape late in the first, took down in the second, and he's kind of getting the business right now with that. We'll call it the Turk, cross-face Turk. He's got the leg elevated, coming across his neck, chin, and grabbing the far shoulder. He's got him really stretched out. The arm dropped down to over the neck. That's the one problem with that move. We do it. That you got to stay kind of on the chin, or because if you go across the neck, they don't want to choke out.
Yeah.
So, kind of looks like my favorite breakdown from the top position, far knee, far ankle. First one we show the kids in grade school, and you still see it in college. Yeah, he didn't return him to the mat.
Interesting.
So that's a escape. Gave up some back points. He gave up 3 to get 1, but Carson's winning 5-2. This is, the senior versus freshman, but this, like I said, the Osceola's got some really talented. I'll even go with some sophomores in that lineup that are pretty solid.
What's your go-to brand for wrestling shoes?
Oh boy, I'm going to start a war here.
I just see
That is an awesome question. So I'm kind of a old shoe horse kind of guy. Right now, Asics.
Asics, that's what I was thinking. Yeah.
And I found when I got back into coaching back in the early 2000s, I used to power lift, and I had this pair of Asics split soles, and they were wide because I got big fat feet. And I did find a pair, and they quit making them in the mid '90s, I believe. So, and I still got them. So that tells you I haven't wrestled too much in the last few years, but it all depends. It depends on your foot style. Rudis has come out; they've really upped their game. There's a 2 takedown for Mr. Carson Wright. Start off with a big mat return. But that's a great question. Adidas.
I've seen a couple Nikes, and I was like, oh, interesting. Yeah.
I was just going to get to that. They back in the 80s, Brooks used to make a pair. Ponies did. You know, all the shoe brands had wrestling shoes. Well, you know, wrestling's, I hate to say it, kind of a secondary sport, and they weren't making money.
Yeah.
There was a kid from Wisconsin about 10 years ago that rocked his uncle's Brooks, and that was awesome. And then there was Converse.
Converse, yeah.
So, you know, I'm going to miss some shoes, but Rudis has come on real big. Asics is Asics. They have Jordan Burroughs as their spokesman. Jake Varner, and I forget who else with the... my son wore a lot of Varners. Varner won after he won a gold medal, got a shoe deal.
Oh, yeah.
Kyle Schneider's the Rudis guy. But what's really interesting, Nike was big into... They did make wrestling shoes, and in the 90s, the word on the street was you never lost to a kid wearing Nikes. Well, Nike has come back so strong. They're making probably the coolest shoe right now. I mean, I'd argue I like the Adidas, but I've got big fat feet, and they're usually a little narrower. They used to be the wider ones. Now they're a little narrower. But I wear a pair of Asics, but it does affect. You know, Coach Newt a little behind. Carson's up 8-4 to. There we go. Well, that gives 3 more points to Ellsworth to make their lead 9-0. So what they do in these tries, we started at heavyweight, then the next duel they move up a weight class. So we started at 106.
Okay.
So.
Yeah, the market is changing. Take advantage of our combined 30-plus years of experience to guide you through it. Call Don at 715-684-9541 or Andrew at 715-928-0410 of Timmerman Realtors for all your realty needs. And Don is down there for pretty much every home sporting event.
Yes, yeah, Don, I talked to him before. I really enjoy Don when he announces, and I kind of get him and Rick Torgerson mixed up.
Well, yeah, me too in football. I was like, is that Don or Rick?
Yeah. So Rick still does football, and Don, I think he sits up there, but Don does the girls and boys basketball.
Or Don was the timer because Pac would give him a hard time with.
Yeah. So we got Logan Meyer. Quick takedown. Logan Meyer, I believe, was a state qualifier as a freshman last year at 106. Comes from a huge wrestling family. 5, or a dad and 4 uncles. They're all as tough as you. They're tougher than a $3 steak at a truck stop. Or if they're not that tough, they'll tell you they're tough.
Yeah.
But good family. They're involved with the youth, I believe. Yes, his mother is down. She is the camera lady for Osceola. So I've gotten a chance to know Brian, a very good wrestler himself. Held the #1 ranking back in the 90s. But yeah, Logan moved up to 126. He was struggling a little bit getting to 20, and I talked to his dad at Northern Badger, and you know, he's growing, and you could tell his dad's a big, thick guy. He takes after his dad, it looks like. So, solid young wrestler. He's out against Noah Walker. Yeah, he's a sophomore. He's a part of that young group that's really solid. So, he's another aggressive kid. There, he's got him in now. Osceola, that's a very popular now. You get a takedown, and you try to get the legs split, and you keep it because it's so hard to fight when your legs are split. And try to kind of turn them with the cross face to get a quick 3.
There really isn't anything you can do when your legs are split.
No, no. I mean, yeah, it's kind of one of those things. I do have a term, but I don't want to use it on the airways. Jeremy
After, you'll mind me.
Yeah, it's sometimes you just do whatever it takes. So it looks like both started up, which is pretty. I think Logan picked up. Logan Meyer did. He's pretty slick. He's long, lanky. He's got a lot of height to him, so he's going to be a difficult out. Even though he moved up from 106 to 126, that's a big jump. But he's seen him at Badger, and he's got a nice skill set to move up like that. And I wouldn't be surprised to see him up at 157, 165 by the time he's a senior either. So going back to the shoes with the Nikes, they've come out some really, really nice stuff. Nike's really getting into college wrestling. You're seeing more and more of them. You can't go wrong with Nike on board with any of your sports. Given
they have all the money.
Yeah, they have all the money. So the rumor I've heard, so with the Big Ten next year, they're bringing in Washington, Oregon State, Oregon, USC, and UCLA.
Yeah.
Nike is a big driving force behind that.
Out of Oregon.
Yeah, well, yeah. Oh, nice little cross, trapping the ankle and the knee and driving up. Nice takedown by Noah Walker. Very, very nice. And going back to, he's on the leg, looking for the cradle. But there's a few little stories, and if somebody's out there is an Oregon fan, please don't come and hate on me. But the Big Ten has some high academics.
Yeah.
And people have probably read about Nebraska has tried to get out. Big Ten isn't happy with their academics. Oh, he got a little high and fell off top. Logan capitalized to stretch his lead out to 7-2. And I've been told that Oregon's was a little lower than what the Big Ten wanted. But I've also told that Nike's got a lot of money.
Yeah, money talks.
So, but going back to the wrestling, they really want to interject in the wrestling. And it sounds like 2 out of the 4 teams are going to have a program pretty quick for wrestling. So that's going to be really nice. The Big Ten's already the best wrestling. But now we can draw out of California, which is a top 5 wrestling state. Draw some, reach out to some different people. So that's going to help with the wrestling. So right now we're in just kind of I'm looking for a stalemate call. Yeah, we got her. Just a weird, even though Logan started down, or did that Walker take top?
There was a reversal in there. I just can't remember.
Okay, yeah, I apologize to the fans here. We're talking about shoes, but talking about that, we got Adidas, and gosh, I wore my white shoes today because that seems to be the style, and I've been teasing all of our 2 reversal by Mr. Logan Meyer. I guess white's the style. I always wear black because good guys wear black.
That's what I'm wearing.
And our 3 managers we've been having some verbal words about black and white shoes. And I was cleaning my house, in-depth cleaning, throwing stuff out, and I stumbled across a pair from 1998 that have some blue on, and they've hardly been worn.
Stiff, I imagine. No?
Yeah, a little bit. I've worn them a few times since. But my last pair of tennis shoes I bought were a pair of Brooks.
Good shoes.
Yep. Because they used to have wrestling shoes, but I like the sole. Asics are popular around our house.
See, it's interesting to me because in the running world, it's almost the same. Like running and wrestling, again, not the most, I don't say profitable, but kind of like what you'd said. But then you think of like football, basketball, and baseball, you don't really see Asics and you don't see Brooks. And I don't know if there's any Saucony for wrestling, but
I was Logan Meyer gets the major decision, get the Chieftains on the board. Ellsworth 9, Osceola 4 with a 10-2 decision. Anything over 8's a major decision. So here comes the plug.
Yeah. Bumper to Bumper is a locally owned and operated driving school located in Somerset, Wisconsin. We offer complete driver education and training consisting of online classroom, in-person classroom instruction, and behind-the-wheel training. So if you're getting ready to apply for your Wisconsin state driver's license, or if you're an adult and just need a refresher course, Bumper to Bumper is here to help. Visit online at btbsdllc.com. Remember that.
Okay, Bumper. Who runs Bumper to Bumper?
I'm not sure. It's newer advertisement this year.
Okay, well, we've got Tallenberg. Is that it? Yep. I've seen Talon around for years. For some reason, I always remember the name. And we have Gavin Ricky. He's a junior. And Tallenberg's a sophomore. Talon's out to a quick 2-0 lead. There's a takedown and a cut. Oh, he's out to a 4-2 lead. Osceola, even though nice low single to the opposite leg. That was really nice. So he was a talented kid. Looks like he's really improved. Slick on his feet. They saw kind of a mismatch. So they're going to be taken down and cutting. Well, heck, if you got 3 of them in a minute, you got 1 minute left, let's go for 3 more.
Jeez.
Well, that's kind of what my train of thought is.
Yeah.
Some people think that you're embarrassing your guy. Well, when you're wrestling some good kids, if you can get a couple takedowns, when I was talking earlier about the kind of break kids, they loosen up a little bit, and then you can run some offense on them. So
that's a good point.
So I bought a pair going to the shoes, and I'm boring people to death. I hadn't bought. This was the last pair of shoes I bought in the late '90s, but I bought a set of Brooks because they have the corrective sole, and then I had both knees replaced, and I had to sell them, or I had to get rid of them because I'd wore them so funny. And then I had to buy a new set. So there's 3 on a cradle. Stretch out Tallenberg 9-2. But I just love wearing. They're just so comfortable. Cause I'm a work boot guy.
No.
They just feel so good. But when you get in, they're supposed to be a really good high-end running shoe.
Yep, Brooks are. Yeah, that's a popular shoe.
Yeah, that's. I'm not a runner. Oh, there was a stalling call on Mr. Ricky. Ricky's choice in a second, both up. He's got a little work to do. He's given up 3 takedowns, 3 points in back, and a penalty point. So, Osceola, they're in deep on a really nice. He got a straight-on single, switched to both, drove him over, up 12-2. But, I brought up that point because I'm looking down at the shoes. The Osceola guy, and it all depends on your style of wrestling. He has the shoe that has kind of grips. The sole goes around the sides. It protects them, but B, you stick in the mat a little more often. Now the gentleman from Ellsworth's got the old-fashioned black Adidas with just a step above a cardboard bottom.
Yeah, I was going to say that colors.
I'm big into the black. All right, there's a stall warning against Mr. Ricky, and Talon just said cut him. We're going both on our feet. Got a quick takedown and extend the lead 14-3. But his Talon looks pretty sharp on his feet.
Yeah.
I guess at this point, unless you can get it locked up, I'd go cut him and take him down again and maybe go feet to back. But he is also a sophomore, and it's hate to put that pressure on. Hey, you got to get this points, got to get this.
Yeah.
Because it can backfire.
I was going to ask you, when do you think you'll go for the pin? You said something about practicing, kind of. Not practicing, but, making use of not a teammate.
Oh, yep. Just go ahead.
But yeah, Precision Truck Service is a full-service heavy truck and trailer repair shop located in Baldwin and offering all types of general repair for heavy truck and trailer, diesel mobile service alignments, computer diagnostics, welding and fabrication, and sandblasting. As a Michelin heavy truck tire dealer, we offer best in pricing on Michelin, BFG, and Uniroyal tire brands, balancing and installation. Give us a call, 715-760-0768, or stop in. We are located conveniently on the north side of Baldwin under the water tower.
All right. So you were asking me. Well, I got to give a plug again to Mr. Darren Ofsty. Nah, good company goal. I was giving him a hard time, and he just texted me, "What are you trying to say?" Nah, he's been around. He knows his stuff. He's got 30-plus years in excavating. He knows his stuff. So what were you going... Oh. So Ellsworth has some forfeits, and I don't have the names up for me, but I believe right now Osceola's up 22-9. So kind of lost a little track there. I think we've got... they skipped, and then there's going to be a bunch more forfeits. So,
or you were saying something about takedown, and then you start to loosen them up or something.
Yeah, okay.
So for how long do you do that before it's like, all right, let's get the pin? Yeah,
well, it kind of depends. You know, if you're getting really quick, then you know that you're probably the better wrestler if you've gotten 3-4 takedowns in a minute. Sometimes when I say take them down and cut them, what I don't like with wrestling is you get a takedown the first 30 seconds. This Ellsworth kid, William Penn, tough kid here. He's got a nice takedown. And, you know, the Campano, what is his first name? Tristan Campano. He had a brother that wrestled. He's a junior. Kind of looks like William's the stronger wrestler right now. But if you have I hate seeing a kid get an early takedown, ride the kid for a minute and 20 and 10 seconds left, and there's an escape.
Yeah.
Now the score's 2-1. And that's how the period ends. But you took him down in the first 30 seconds, 20 seconds. Let's cut him. And even if you don't take him down, it's still 2-1. You can mount some attacks, put some pressure on him, maybe get another takedown, and you end the period 4-1. Or maybe you get that takedown and get a quick 2 back points or 3 back points, get 3 swipes or 5. You know, you can build that lead a little bit. And, you know, it's the whole adage of, you know, how many times you want to be pushed down.
Yeah.
You know, after a few times, the quit comes out. So it's kind of, you set the tone playing football, just punch the guy right in the nose in front, and we're going to make dives. And then all of a sudden the play action, you're just eating them up in the second, third quarter. So that's kind of my adage there that, hey, let's start the game out. I'm an old black and blue kind of football player. The fullback dive. That's cool. I want to see the fullback come back.
And 49ers have one.
Yeah. Well, in Dallas, he's from Spencer Columbus, and I sat across Hunter Lupke. Went to NDSU, came out, and he's there. There's a pin by William Penn to close the gap. 2-7. 22 for Osceola and 15 for Ellsworth. But, go ahead.
Yeah, only a couple more. Strikers Lanes and Sports Bra at 780 Cedar Street in Baldwin offers something for everyone. If you're interested in the competition and camaraderie of a team, come join one of the bowling leagues offering men, women, couple, seniors, youth leagues that run from September through April. Reserve an open bowling time for your family, friends, work, or birthday parties. When you get hungry or thirsty from all the bowling fun or while watching the big games on the big screen TVs, Strikers Sports Bar is sure to satisfy. Check out our menu and weekly food and drink specials at StrikersLanes.com. Good old Strikers.
I don't have to give them a plug. I think anybody that listens knows. I know a lot of Ellsworth guys probably still call it Bowles Lanes, but
Bowles Lanes, yeah, it's before I got here.
I remember Bowles Lane when I was a kid. So, nice big takedown. This is so we got Blake Nelson, former Baldwin kid. We got a gentleman named Reed Church. Now, I believe, I got to look, Reed's a senior. So Scott Newton is now the principal in Osceola, but he was the middle school wrestling coach. I get a text from him. Oh, it'd be 7 years. He was a 6th grader, so 7 years ago. And he's like, "Do you got anybody? I've got this kid that's just tiny, weighing in a whooping like 65 pounds. Does he even got a match?" I said, "Actually, we do." So he comes down 65 pounds, maybe 68, comes down, gets a match in, and now he's out wrestling 150. Well-built kid. I never thought, seeing him, he was just small frame, I never thought he'd ever get to 106.
Yeah.
A well-built kid, and I believe he's a halfway decent football player. Somebody explained it to me. And it's, when you hear the name Church,
Yeah.
it's like, okay, that just kind of sticks with you.
Yep, absolutely does.
So, yeah, I kind of laugh because I think the next year, here's a kid that's maybe a little less skilled, but he really went to work, and he's a kid I watched at I believe Northern Badger, and I got some film on him. He's really improved. I'm just like, wow, here's a kid that, the old adage was, a serviceable wrestler in middle school, but really put time in the weight room and developed into a pretty solid, tough kid.
Yeah.
So,
you can see that hard work paying off.
yeah, and I don't want to insult any of their families. I've noticed him getting better and better, and that's a testament for hard work. So he's got a quick lead, takedown and some back points. Or do you get 2 takedowns? I'm talking too much. I'm kind of, but he's in good control, riding tough. He's got the leg. He's looking to split the legs. Oh, Mr. Blake Nelson got out of that. Short time left. Goal is to always end the period on top.
Can't remember what weight this started at.
Oh, I was kind of talking about that earlier. It started at 106. The first one with Baldwin-Ellsworth started at heavyweight.
Yep.
And then they move it up one. So the next Baldwin and Osceola start at 113.
113, okay.
So he's in on a shot. Good defense. Ellsworth does the basics. I'll always give Mark's coach 4 or 5 years there. Beating them was fun because I don't think until Baldwin beat them in 2020, was the first time they lost a conference duel in over 25 years.
Yeah, I remember. I saw that stat one time where I was like, holy cow.
And,
or the conference championships, yeah. It's like, geez Louise.
And according to some of the people, we should have beat them the year before. But Ellsworth, the one nice takedown by Blake. He comes out and had a bad first period, but he's got his mean on. And now he's kind of riding tough. But I've always given Mark a lot of credit. His kids, you can see the visible improvement from the first duel of the year to regions. They don't have the numbers they used to. I mean, good football, and it's after 50 years of dominance.
Yeah, it's like eventually.
Some teams it takes about 3 years and they fall apart, and it took them 50 plus.
Took them forever.
That's just a credit to the sport they have down there also. But they do, being a NCAA D3 national champ wrestler and a coach of a team that won one, that's pretty impressive.
Yeah.
I mean, he knows what he's doing. Gets the kids better. And he makes their average kids just tough outs. And they don't quit. So I give him credit every year about that. I don't tell him, but we know Ellsworth's different at the end of the year than they are at the beginning.
Can you remind me what the tap is when he does that?
Oh, so he tapped the mat. Bottom guy wasn't doing anything, so it's kind of a warning.
Okay, a warning.
He warned him for stalling. The next time he does it, it will be 1 point.
1 point, yeah. Okay.
So that was Blake Nelson turned them for 2 at the end of the period to tie it all up 5-5. So, well, this period they start both on feet. So if you're looking at the scoreboard, Osceola's home, they wear green, and Ellsworth's away, they're going to wear red. So, and I would guess for the next, and here's the real oddity, is if you look, if we turn the mat the other way, so if you're the home team, you got to walk across to the other side and step on the line. But we want it facing this way. So there's right hand when you look at the scoring table is always home.
Yeah.
Oh, nice takedown. Ooh, comes out. Boy, bad first period, won the second. Now it's down to the third period. And he's winning it now. Good little takedown, and he's riding pretty tough. I'm guessing here comes something. If he doesn't start moving, it'll be a stall call on Osceola. But yeah, the right, or green's always supposed to be the right when you're facing.
Okay.
I wish they just change it because all the kids hate walking across their opponent. So you can just run out there, boom.
Yeah.
And wrestle.
Boom.
Stalling red. So that's on Ellsworth. Boy, Mr. Blake Nelson maybe remembers some stuff from youth wrestling in Baldwin.
Great coaching.
Yeah. Nah, I think Ellsworth had a little something to do with that too. But yeah, there's 1 point red. Mr. Church came out tough, looked really good in the first period. He's either getting really controlled or now he's reaching back. You don't want to see that. Now he's running we call his gas tank is on empty.
Yeah, no fumes. Oh, it's getting a little chippy.
Yeah, I mean, when you get ridden like that, that's the situation. I don't think there's going to be any problems, but you like the guys instead of crossing twice more, just to boom, get off to the side, boom. Yep.
Yeah, last one actually. St. Croix Garage Doors provides Western Wisconsin with top quality garage door sales, service, and installation. We proudly serve Baldwin, Woodville, Hudson, New Richmond, River Falls, Stillwater, Menominee, and other surrounding areas. Give Brian a call today, 715-781-8989 for a quote, install, or service. And it's funny reading these because for years I've heard Jeremy do it. I'm just kind of like I've seen and heard that before 100 times.
Well, I have too, and I always like to. Taden's a wrestler, so yeah, he does a great job. Brian's done a really good job. Stays good and busy. I think I don't know if he wants me to say, but he used to do some lawn care, and I don't know how much more.
Yeah, maybe he's tried to fade that out.
So with that win, 8-5 by Mr. Blake Nelson, he tacks on 3 more points to put Ellsworth back in the lead again. Now this is where I think got a lot of forfeits. Okay, we're going to have 1 more match, maybe 2.
Do you have to decide, like, I know sometimes in, like, say track, like your relays, if you have 6, sometimes you can be, like, at the last minute exchange, or do you have to tell them well in advance who's wrestling?
No, then that's how you got to win a coin flip.
Yeah.
Then you're playing games. A few years ago, I knew every kid, their hairstyle, and okay, that's certain so-and-so coming up. Here, real quick. We got Brett Bader, I would believe. Yep, Brett Bader. And Isaac Herb, his son from Ellsworth. And we are wrestling at 165. But, so you got to get to know the kids. So, like, we played some games. We wanted a certain matchup with William Penn.
Yeah.
We knew there, so we won the coin flip. We made them show who they were going to have.
Okay, yeah, interesting.
And then we plugged out who we did, and Wes Brosh and Graydon Monacan were all involved.
Would you call it gambling or not quite?
Well, you try to get the best matchup. The unfortunate thing, one guy will end up, and Garrett took it tonight, had to go out against, one of the best kids in the state. But, it came down, and I said before, we won 36-35. He only gave up a tech fall, did not get pinned, and it came down to that point. So, we just thought, hey, here's a matchup, and we're not talking anything by skill. It's just who matches up best.
Yeah.
So it's kind of an interesting. So Mr. Bader with the takedown and a little mat return. Another big, tall, lanky kid from Ellsworth, but yeah. So it's so we're really we're not the team we were last year or the year before, where we'd tell somebody, hey, if their weight class was 165. If he weighs in at 165, you can wrestle the weight class above.
Yeah.
So, but if you had a really good kid, and probably a wrong weight to use, we'd tell him to weigh in at 165.1 so we could move him up 2 weight classes. Because we had some kids that didn't care.
Yeah.
They 100 pounds, let's go.
Who was one of those, would you say, from last year?
Oh, we've had a few. Hunter Gartman was a kid that would go up. Ty Fink, most of all those kids had got moved up, or we didn't get we didn't move them up to a state champ, but in this area we're talking they're state qualifiers, state place winners, and they're good. Yep. Mason Baraboo for 2 years. At the end of last year, he dropped down to 220. Took him all season by the weight loss program, but when we ran him out there, Prairie Sheen was like, uh-oh. Yeah, they didn't plan on this because he was a state heavyweight. Well, they sent out a freshman, and Mason ran into a tough kid, and I think he kind of slipped and tripped, and we lost that match really close. So Mr. Bader started the period with an escape, and now he's got a takedown, and he's I don't see anybody swiping yet. Oh, it looks like the refs hold. Oh no, I thought he was holding a couple. So yeah, with we gambled and it didn't work out at that point.
Yeah.
But Mason was a great part of the team, helped us get us there. He actually, his freshman year, won regionals for us in the wrestleback, so we could be at team sectionals his freshman year. And then we ran into the state finalist team and kind of got buzzsawed, but
good teams are good teams.
Gale Electric, Trepolo, yeah, they're good teams. Kind of got to know their coaching staff, solid coaching staff, a lot of just fun to talk wrestling with them. Wrestling is a little different than basketball, where you can wrestle up to 6 matches a day.
Okay, yeah, I was kind of I was wondering that.
And the 30 minutes in between, 20 minutes it was a forfeit, all this. But table workers, everybody working, they usually try to give a break. And the best thing about wrestling is the coaches room.
Yeah.
At tournaments, there's always something good in there, and we do look at tournaments with good coaching.
Yeah, it's important.
Oh yeah, I mean that Port Washington, that homemade lasagna, it was.
Jeez.
Eau Claire North has great desserts. Ellsworth was always top notch.
It's like that in track too, and some places just have a water cooler with water bottles in it. It's like, I don't want to go there again.
Yeah, so. But yeah, Northern Badger threw out roast beef and roast beef sandwiches. I think one other day was tacos. Lakeville's usually got pretty good food in their room. So Mr. Bader chose down, up 5-1 going into period 3. Looking for an escape, but there's Ellsworth on that ankle, driving him forward. So I'm probably giving away secrets to people listening. But I will tell you, Big Jim, now that he's not coaching anymore, locked hands by Ellsworth.
Larson?
Yeah, Big Jim Larson.
Oh, geez, I want to hear this.
So he always liked the coach's room. Well, when he, stepped down from coaching, Jim was well known. I call him the legend for a reason, and he would sneak into a couple coaches' rooms and have a sandwich. But over the last 12 years, things have changed. But I really go out on a limb every time I come out of the coach's room after a dinner at a tournament. I'm like, hey, Big Jim, Homemade lasagna.
I'm gonna give him crap for that next time I see him. Hey, the coach's room's right over
Yeah,
there.
and I'll try to come out eating the last bit of a nice homemade brownie, and just like to tease him a little. And then he'll begrudgingly said he had a bad candy bar and a bottle of water or Gatorade or something. But well, Ellsworth still riding up. He scrambled away, got his hips away, in between the legs, sucked the leg in, and here's a reversal to stretch out Mr. Bader's 8-1 lead. I'm sure the coach would love to see him tack on a few more points, get a major out of this, because this will be the last match of this duel. The rest are forfeits. So I'd like to see him tack it on. Like I said, Osceola's, they've got some injuries. They do have some bigger guys that are ones in a walking boot, I see. I can say that because I think he walks around. Everybody's seen him.
Is it obvious?
Yeah, it's obvious. But yeah, they've done a good job. The kids wrestle hard. It's an like I said, up-and-coming team in the next year or two. I really feel Osceola and St. Croix Central, it's got another good middle school, could be the two teams to beat. Now, I'd like to toot my horn about Baldwin, but
Yeah,
I'm not going to give out any. We got 20 kids in there. I'm really kind of pumped up. A lot of good athletes. So a lot of them are new, but they seem to be fitting in real well. Nice little mat return. He did that. He had a nice mat return, a trip to his back, and he was really trying to work that. But there's a win. That 3-team points, 25-24, Osceola at this point.
Yeah, and then the last read through for our advertisers, again, that make this possible, so thank you very much. Baldwin Greenhouse, Firehelm Langer, Nielsen's Foods, St. Croix Garage Door, Strikers Lanes and Sports Bar, Timmerman Realty, Wisconsin Credit Union, St. Croix Custom Apparel, Baldwin Lightstream, CW Garage Door Distribution, Vernon Jewelers, Schaefer Financial Service, Blackhawk Garage Door, O'Connell Funeral Homes, A-Star Concrete, Culvers of Baldwin, Family Chiro Care, TMS Auto, Helverson Concrete Solutions, Whitecap Financial Advisors, Pete's Construction, American Family Insurance, Village Pharmacy, OEM Fabricators, Precision Excavating Enterprise, Precision Truck Service, Western Wisconsin Health, Bumper to Bumper, and DMS Repair. Thank you to all the sponsors.
DMS Repair. Good place, good place. Yeah, actually, I got to give a shout out to Pete's Construction. Lance was a coach in Baldwin. Coaching the youth was my son's first coach. He'll always be Coach Lance to him.
Coach Lance.
And he coached high school. Well, he got a few years under his belt there. And being a contractor, I think that kind of interfered with his coaching.
Now, Coach Newton what was his exact? I know he's retired now, but he worked for, was it Derek?
Yeah, he worked for Derek. He was kind of a job soup, very talented construction handyman guy.
Okay.
They have the family has a rental business. They own a lot of units, and it's kind of funny. Talking with Newt, I gotta get out of here tonight. I gotta go fix the toilet.
Yep.
One of the properties. So.
And he got his bus license too. Me and Coach Newton, Well, I don't know if it was Mr. Sell or Mr. Dockel that talked us both into it, but he asked all the coaches, and originally I think it was just me, and then eventually I think Jeff's like, well, if Ambrose can do it, I can do it too. And it's like, yeah, it's not too bad, but yeah, he can do everything now.
Well, and he drove home from Port Washington. They had some ice. They had about 2-3 inches of snow and ice last weekend. Yeah. So I think they left at 8 in the morning, got home at 3 in the afternoon, a nice little 7-hour bus ride.
Yeah, he didn't sign up for that.
No. And then I talked to him tonight because they're going to lacrosse tomorrow.
Yeah, and that's again going to be it.
Yeah, and it's kind of, and I don't, I've had a CDL I had a chauffeurs, and You know, when the CDLs came out in the 90s, I got that. And it's not fun driving those big rigs. Sometimes it's nicer, but when they get sliding, it turns into an adventure.
Yeah, and I haven't driven in the snow yet. I'm very, very curious how that will be. Because I'm like, well, it's got dualies and it's heavy, but I'm like, also rear-wheel drive.
Yeah.
All the weight's kind of in the front. And
yeah, and that's, I've been on buses before, and you got to get in the back to get wheels, weight over the wheels, and yeah, and if anybody asks, no, I am not going to drive school bus.
JR, Jason,
No.
Eric Russell, he's not doing it.
Nope. I am not doing it. I put in my time. I'll let you new guys.
Yeah, right. Let us earn a little bit of money too.
So I don't know if I'm. I'm trying to figure that out. I'm not. I do spend some time just driving dump truck or moving equipment, but I suppose $500,000 plus, maybe $750,000 behind the wheel of the dump truck. I mean, some of these guys that are over the roads got $3-4 million.
Yeah, it's the roof.
And I was kind of around the cities, and I like driving truck. My days of moving big equipment and driving in the snow is like, I'll let somebody else do it.
Yeah.
But there is a shortage, 1.5 million short of truck drivers. So
Jeez.
if you're wondering why you go to a store and the shelves aren't full, it's getting it there is the biggest problem.
And it's really funny because I'm actually wearing Schomer Landscaping. I told him a million times I said be a sponsor, and he's like, people tell him estimates 2025. It's always next year. But I started driving his dump trucks, and really, goes up to about 26,000 pounds fully loaded. And I'm like, well, if I can drive one of these, it was like an 80s or 90s rig.
Yeah.
Doesn't have def or anything. With air brakes, I'm like, well, school bus, I should be able to drive. And I'm like, you know what? Actually, I think it's almost easier to drive a school bus.
Yeah, there's some pros
In
and
some
cons.
ways. Turning's obviously a little bit different, but you get used to it.
Yeah, it's kind of an interesting deal there. So I'm thinking Baldwin is doing that. I saw him put something down in the middle. So, but yeah, I got to give a shout out to the Baldwin coach. I haven't said anything. We have Jeff Newton's our head coach. He's been plugging away, 9 years, 10 years.
Maybe right before I did, I think.
And he was in our youth, coaching the middle school. Also, I tease everybody, because Jeff's pretty unassuming. He's also been helping out about the same time for the softball.
Yes, he has, yeah.
So I always say, hey, what is the two of the more successful programs have in common? Jeff Newton.
Yeah. I think he's very good wrestling coach.
Yeah, he's very fundamentally strong, and he loves softball. I think he still even plays fast pitch. So, hi, Sherry. Then we have Jared Fink. He joined a few years ago and Lance stepped down. Jeff wrestled at River Falls. Jared wrestled at Lacrosse, big fitness guy. I think people are getting to know who he is because he does a lot of trapping of nuisance animals all around the district. So, and then if you see the other big guy, his name is Cole Tobin. He's from Hudson, won state in 2009, and wrestled for the Badgers. Got in good 4 years. He's back out here. He was the superintendent on the baseball field project. I think his job has taken him a little ways this year, but it's great to have him in the room. But what's really getting to be more and more fun, and this is a testament to Jeff Newton, Joey Garcia graduated in 2019. He's helping out in the high school this year. Ty Fink that graduated last year, he's transferred to Eau Claire. He's in the room. He's helping out with middle school, and he's in the high school room to push some of the kids that way. We had Hunter Gartman was in. He's wrestling at Rochester, so that's a lot of fun. Middle school, we got Tanner Booth, another former wrestler.
Yep.
And we hired a new gentleman that just moved into the area. Our youth program, Dave Zinda he wrestled at Amory.
Monty Zinda's dad?
Yeah.
Yeah, I had Monty in class. I've had a lot of wrestlers in class.
Yeah, there, and then we also had Ryan Landini. I apologize, I'm missing some other, but it's a lot of fun getting kids to come back. Something that we didn't have as much in years past. Now a lot of kids will just pop in the room and roll around. Cole Brosh was in there, Wes's older brother. So it's kind of fun coming in there, help, and I think as a coach and Jeff Newton's installed it into them that come back and help out, and they are.
Well, they're doing the contest now that you were talking
Okay.
about. That we didn't really figure out exactly what it was. There's a beanbag thing at the basketball game. I'm not really sure what happened. I had to work concession stands. There's a girl with a pink jersey. I don't know what. Decent throw.
Oh, okay. They gotta toss it.
What is it?
I'm not sure what it is.
I don't know. What is that? Good. You know what? What are they throwing? Do you know? Ducks. Okay.
Ducks. Okay. All right. Well, that would be
There we go. Ducks.
Ella Nikowski.
Only one duck? Oh, okay. Coach Kiefer helping us out with that.
There you
Another
go.
good football coach. Another good coach.
Yep.
We should have got one. Shoot.
Throw it from here.
I think we would have won, too.
Oh, look at this.
Trying to
One just rolled over.
So trying to get on that white tape, I assume.
Well, they put a piece of paper out.
Oh, it's paper. Okay. Ooh, that's a good. Looks like there's a yellowish one.
And it looks like a green one.
We have the tape measure out.
So all at once, everybody threw them out. So, yeah, it was the.
Who's this?
It's Andrea Gartman.
No, I thought maybe she won it, but she's heading back. I think that's actually Zinda's wife that we were just talking about. Can't think of her. Her son in class, you think I'd know her name?
Yep, that's Heather.
Heather Zinda.
She's
yes,
over
yes,
there,
yes,
and
yes.
then Andrea's out in the middle.
So that's Bailey Benson. Is it Bailey? That's Carter's sister. Just taught her some math today. Hard worker, just like her brother.
I might have to run quick, but Carter Benson worked his way down to 113 this year, and I'm not sure where he started at. So I came into practice for a little bit on Tuesday. I had to return to scale, and I saw Carter was running the stairs after practice.
Yeah.
And it's like 20 after 5. And we stuck around, talked with the coaches, and what they've got coming up and things like that. And then Carter left, and all wrestlers have to hit the shower. And I'm kind of hungry. My wife said, hey, I'm not going to be home until later, and I was pretty hungry. So I stopped by Subway, and there's Carter at 10 after 6 making me a sub.
Oh, yeah.
And I said, if I had to work at Subway, and he was a couple pounds over, and he was running, there was no way I could actually lose weight if I worked at Subway.
It's a lot of vegetables, but I think they're called artists, aren't they?
Yeah, sandwich artist. He did a
Sandwich
great
artist.
job. My sandwich was delicious. He recommended it. But I was like, if I worked there, I'd have gone from 113 to 215.
You would have been a heavyweight.
Yeah, so if we got a minute or two, I'm just going to run downstairs quick. And,
yeah, go ahead. Maybe we'll turn off both our mics. I don't have much to say. Take a break. We'll be back.
looks like we're starting up here. That's Carter Benson, who we were just talking about. And Hunter Crumry. Well, they sure didn't. And our star commentator's back here, so don't you worry. He's
All right.
back.
All right, sorry about that. I actually was talking to our kid that lost 5-2 but saved the duel.
Oh,
Trevor
Trevor Murdoch, yeah.
got in the hallway, and I'd like to gab, so. But, well, we got Mr. Hunter Crumry from Osceola out against Carter Benson. I mean, Carter must 3 takedowns, I would guess.
Yeah. He's been doing pretty well so far.
Yeah, and Hunter had a really good match against Ellsworth, against a really solid kid, and this is nice. Carter was another one coming up that I wondered if he'd ever get to, the minimum weight.
Yeah. Yeah, he was yeah.
But he's really fun kid to have in the room. I've coached him through all these years, and he's got a great smile, nice kid, fun to have. And he's a junior now, and I think, probably you coaching and anybody out there, sometimes we ask so much of freshmen to come out and perform at a high level. And it's, maturity, it's just difficult. But Carter here has really worked hard and gotten a lot better. So hard work pays off. You preach it, and they don't see the results. They kind of look at you like, yeah, you don't know nothing. But Carter's really, yeah.
I always tell my kids, trust your training.
Yeah. That's it just, that's the old playground. I'm going to be tougher than you. Yep, got 2 back points there. Kind of had him stretched out and just got his, Mr. Crumley's shoulder got down, and he just cross-faced him and got 2 points. And, he's running a Turk situation a little different than some of the other kids, but it's working.
And I'll tell you, growing up, when my brother had his leg wrapped around my leg, oh.
Yeah, it's sometimes Mr. Crumry is also a freshman. And, like I said before, you start getting, worked a little bit.
Yeah, same.
Your emotions kind of take over. and he's got what we call a crab ride on, where he comes underneath the arm and across and grabs the trap, and then his other hand kind of posts on the inner thigh, and you kind of twist them to that inner thigh.
Mm-hmm.
And it's not comfortable because, like I said, you got to be careful with the neck, but nobody likes to have somebody wrapped around your neck.
Absolutely not.
So hence he's a little frustrated, gave him a little push. And you see it happen in all levels, college level. My goodness, that was a chin whip. That was a takedown. No back points. Oh, Carter's got to sprawl out here. There, he's got the hand between the legs. If he can lock and pull his hands and pull that leg out in front of him, they'll take some strength away from him. There
we go.
2 reversal. That was a big mat return. That's one thing this year that I've seen some pretty big mat returns, and sometimes you can call for a slam and things like that, and I haven't seen that called as much, where I've seen the stalling called.
Seen that a lot tonight.
Big mat returns. Sometimes it makes more noise.
Then
But especially when you get some big boys out there doing it. The bottom guy's looking for a Granby. He's trying to trap the arm. Carter's right one, and he's going between the legs, and he rolled over his own right shoulder. But Carter felt that. It's kind of a weird pressure. There's an escape for Mr. Crumry. It's 11-5 now. Carter in the lead. Yeah, like I said, this is a freshman junior matchup, and Carter's no slouch. Oh, there's a nice chin whip. That's 2, and on to the back.
Shoot.
Yeah, that's a frustrating one.
That's tough.
Yeah, they're telegraphing it, and sometimes you just. There's a chin whip and there's a lat whip. I mean, you grab the lat, you reach back and grab the lat, or you reach back and grab the chin. It's a tough It's a tough one to have, but
120 forfeit.
Forfeit. Otherwise, it was a nice match by Carter up until 30 seconds left.
Yeah, I know. 2-4. 5.5 minutes.
Yeah.
Will Colton wrestle tonight?
I would maybe.
Maybe that'd be fun to watch.
But I'm guessing. I mean, Colton, like I said, is the favorite to win state.
Yeah, it's almost like that earlier match where
they just wow.
But speaking of really good wrestlers, is it Coy at Amory right now?
Yep, Coy Hopkins.
Yeah. I was just wondering. If you knew anything about, because there's a guy from, was it Shakopee? Was that who he lost to?
He lost to a kid from Illinois.
Or Illinois.
And then he lost to a Shunkies from Harrisburg.
Oh.
Or is it Brandon Valley? Brandon Valley.
So
It's by Sioux Falls.
Neither of them in state, okay.
Nope. One's going to K-State to play line, and the other's coming to the Badgers.
Oh.
Dylan Johnson's coming. He claims he's going to do both. Wrestle and...
How often does that happen? Or does someone actually do that?
Yes, actually, you might see it tomorrow night. Nash Hutmaker was a 4.5-star recruit from South Dakota. Kid squatted like 700 pounds as a high schooler. Went to Nebraska and had a really, really good year. And the rumor he might be testing coming out a year early.
No, okay.
Big D, but he was a phenomenal wrestler. Hey, we got Drake Gartman, and I do not know this young man. Isaac
Dunham.
They have him listed at 138. Okay, he's a freshman. Drake is one of our better kids. He's a little dinged up right now. Solid kid. And he's got to adjust his headgear. But so Nash came out for wrestling. They listed him at 330. Their season was done by Thanksgiving, and it took him 5 weeks to get down to 285. Went out and got a pin the other night.
Oh.
But what makes it really interesting, Iowa has he was a 4-star recruit. He was a world gold medalist in wrestling. He was at least a 3-time state track champion. And his fastball hit 99 miles an hour.
Jeez. That's an athlete.
Well, he was supposedly the best athlete Iowa's ever landed. So he went to Iowa. He redshirted this year, dressed every game. They threatened to pull it. He's an outside backer, 6'4",
Yeah.
230-ish. As soon as they were done their bowl game. Oh, wow, we don't need this. And as soon as their bowl game's done, the next day he's in the wrestling room.
Just one after the other.
And there's a possibility Nebraska and Iowa are going to wrestle on Friday night, and those two might go at it.
At 15 seconds.
So, yeah, Ben Keeter. So I'm gonna set my VCR or whatever they call it, Genie or
Well, yeah.
whatever you do to record it, because I kind of would like to see that. I mean, there's some other good matches on that one, but
No.
so, but to be I say wrestling secondary. I mean, they wrestle year round.
Oh yeah. It's almost it's like basketball kind of.
Yeah, so it's when you talk football, what you got to put in for football, and then wrestling, it's then you have to have grades. And there says Dylan Johnson is going to be a fresh. That's a lot to ask, and the same with this Ben Keeter. So after the first, Isaac Dunham is up 7-2 over Drake Gardman. Really good performance. He won the first period convincingly. I haven't looked. I know Drake was ranked at one time, and I'm sure he hasn't given that up, but really tough wrestler, and it's another case of a little banged up, but I'm not going to take anything away from the Osceola lad. He's really coming out there and putting it on him. And I would guess Drake's a 26-pounder. He's got to get out front. Yeah, the beauty of having, and you probably know this from coaching, I don't care what sport it is, you get a freshman out there, and they get a little taste of some, getting some points, and, they're kind of there's blood in the water, and that Shark's going for it. So that's the joys, and then kind of much like the Packers, they knocked off a couple good teams, and then you lose. When you're young, you'll lose to some teams you should beat.
Yeah,
so,
just nature of the beast, really.
Yeah, but this Isaac Dunham is looking like a state kid.
You say he's a freshman?
Yeah, he's a freshman.
Oh, I wouldn't have guessed that.
I kind of remember the name. I don't think I'm saying it right. I remember him in middle school. Yeah, like I said, they had a good group of kids put together, and they're really tough, fun to wrestle. And their coaches over there, a lot of fun. It's kind of fun to sit across the mat.
I haven't seen this yet today.
That's a bar, and that's old-fashioned. Just trying to flop him over. You're risking potentially dangers. Arm bars, Baldwin's notorious for them. But there's always, if you elevate it, or he's just trying to take him straight over, which is the real man's way to do it, I guess.
Yeah.
But he's definitely, the blood's in the water, and he's going for it. So there's Drake. There's a little slick move. There's a little life, making it 10-4. 10-4.
So with that long hair, looks like his headgear just keeps getting loose.
Yeah, and that's my pet peeve. I adjust your headgear so it fits. A good adjusted headgear shouldn't matter. It should stay in put.
It's kind of like the helmets with the chin straps, and these players always like, come on, tighten your chin strap.
You know, so I know 2 years ago, so after my son graduated, you could have a beard and didn't have to cut your hair.
Yeah.
And he was mad because he had his beard.
You did.
Yep, and he's like a day late. And then in college, they're looking to go away from the headgear because of these situations where it comes off, gets wrapped around your neck, and they got to stop, and then you got to readjust it. When you go to the international form of wrestling, I know at certain age groups you have to, but then there's, nice fireman's carry by Mr. Isaac Dunham to stretch that lead to 13-4. They're putting a major up right now. But I'm not sure at the senior level what the rule is, but you can also, if a kid comes out and he's got headgear on, I know at like junior levels, and you come out there with no headgear, you can request them to take their headgear off.
Oh, okay.
Senior levels, I don't recall anybody ever wearing it, but
there's a warning.
You know, Drake is kind of out of it right now.
Yeah, they're tired, and like you said,
looking at the ref, it was. He did have it across the neck. I don't think Mr. Dunham was applying a lot of pressure. It looked like he was capping the shoulder. You know, if you go right under the trap and come across, that's going to get called right away. But a lot of discretion, and both of these two are, very good refs. So put the leg in, and I've always said you get the legs in, and it usually takes about 30 seconds to get rid of them, and it might take us down to
Isaac Dunham.
Nice match for this young man. I didn't expect to see that, but like I said, you get a young kid pretty excited, and that's hard to beat.
Yeah. Knowing that you're going against a good kid like Drake Gartman.
Yeah, he's probably pretty pumped up, and not saying Drake was overlooking, but maybe thought, hey, I got a freshman. But whatever the case is, Mr. Dunham just added 4 more team points to stretch that lead to 22-0. So
let's see if they send someone here.
Yeah, it looks like they are.
There we go.
We got Colton Hush.
I don't know who's
And Colton Hush coming up from 132 to 138. I will say Drake was wrestling up from 26
That's
to 32.
true, yeah, it was true.
The kid looked big and strong. I'd like to have him in our room too. So we've got Hastings. Let's take Wyatt Hastings, another 9th grader. This might be, and we've done it before. There's Colton, a quick takedown, up 2-1.
Oh, yeah, that's what you're talking about now. Yeah, 2-1, and then.
Yeah, then nice little. Because, this kid's maybe tough sometimes when you knock him down a few times, they'll loosen up and you can get to your offense. Or catch him, one more time, I think Colton could probably catch him. All right. There's a nice low signal there off of the collar tie. Now, Colton is looking to go feet to back.
I watch him in football. He's probably one of the better competitors we've had in the last, just overall.
Oh yeah, he's we play mat ball. if we set dominoes up in the wrestling room, he wanted to win that too. So tough kid, good hard worker.
Yeah.
Like I said, he's going to continue to wrestle at Mankato. And the interesting thing about Mankato, I think out of the 10 spots in college, next year I think 7 or 8 of them will be Wisconsin kids.
Wow.
Mankato, Cole Marco from St. Croix Falls, and Moonier, and Drake Hayward, Mike Smith from Amory, and then we'll see the Fitzpatrick tomorrow from La Crosse Aquinas, and there's a heavyweight and a 97-pounder that were from Wisconsin. Names are escaping me, but yeah, that's where that coach recruits, and old Colton is going to be part of that. So I'm pretty excited, and I believe they've got his major down there. They're very good. I think it's project management or job soup or something.
Yeah.
So we're pretty pumped up, and they've got a good program down there. So, and then I'll get to see Colton a little bit more. Hey, this Mr. Hastings here. So Colton takes down after running up 5 takedowns in the first period. And that, here's a nice little Peterson roll. There's a 2 reversal, and he hasn't quite gotten any back points. But that kid came out there and wasn't afraid to
smooth.
Yeah, bust them forward a little bit. Probably got a little too much pressure on them.
It seems like you go from, I got this, to all of a sudden, oh, crap.
Yeah. Well, Peterson or... oh gosh, Granby. Both of them are a little different. And then of course my favorite is the fat man's roll.
I like the name of it.
It's because the big guys don't have to go through all that. We just hook elbows and kind of roll. But when I said earlier about taking him down, loosening him up, hey, this little credit.
He's fighting through it now.
Yeah, this, it's kind of like, Trevor that it's not phasing him. He's going out there and giving his best effort. Freshman coming out against, I don't know what Mr. Hastings has done so far this year, but, he's wrestling a 2-time finalist. He doesn't care. Throw the kitchen sink at me. It's flattening out, and he's making Colton work. So I'm very appreciative. Hats off to the Osceola coaches for getting their kids. Let's go out there. Like you said, they're forfeiting about 5 weight classes. But the kids they might beat us matches wrestled now.
Yeah,
that's... Do you have any cross-country kids out for football or wrestling?
No. In the past, I'm trying to think of a few years ago. The last one was Austin Schmidt. He did it his sophomore and junior year, and when I heard he was doing it and I knew he was a wrestler, I'm like, that's a good combination, because wrestlers are tough. I mean, there's 2 sports that make good runners. It's soccer players and wrestlers. Soccer players, because that's what they do in their sport, and wrestlers, because they say running's 90% mental and the other half is physical or something like that. And Colton himself, if he wasn't such a phenomenal football player, he was actually one heck of a cross-country runner in 6th grade. I remember, because I was one of my first years coaching, and I'm like, who is this kid?
Mr. Hastings with a headlock. With a headlock. I don't know if they've scored at any points. But yeah, there's no quitting this kid. He starts the 3rd period out and he rips that headlock. Now Colton got the takedown here and got into a pinning combination. Yeah, Colton just wanted to compete, so he went out for cross country.
I love it. Yeah.
I said that's awesome.
Got my hopes up, but
well, right there, this kid has been. If I was out there reffing it, and I'm not a ref, but I'd say, this kid. The refs know who Colton is, and I wouldn't call this kid for stalling. He's been busting his hind end the whole match. And you got to call if he's broke down, but I looked at the whole body of work. This kid is not scared at all.
No, and that's going into it thinking, like, oh, this is, yeah.
So, I mean, Colton's put up some points here, but this kid is not scared at all. And that's, like I said, give these kids another year or two. That's going to be one tough team.
Yep.
So, hats off to the coaching staff up there. Down to the last 20 seconds of the third period. Colton, I think, is in pretty good control right here. I'd like to see a turn, but he's got the major right now, unless something happens in the last couple seconds. But that'll get Baldwin on the board, and we'll be down 22 to 4. You're right.
Look at that. Yeah, good for Hastings. That was a good.
Yeah, that's I good job.
Yeah, essentially. I just say looking at Colton like he's gassed. I mean.
Yeah. Yeah, and that kid's over there getting water, feeling pretty good about himself.
Yeah.
A
little adrenaline going.
So now we got Tristan Campanile and Garrett Guthrie. So because of all the shifting, I don't think Wes Brosh will be. Had a nice roll against Ellsworth, but he is not going out there. There's a few things. Drake, that 26-pounder from Osceola is really good, Logan Meyer, and maybe we're saving that matchup till regionals.
Yeah.
Sometimes you do that. I'm not saying anybody's running or anything like that, but we're saving it. Logan's a tough kid. Maybe Newt probably saw a better match with moving the people up and getting a match in. Now, that's just plain, simple roughhousing on the playground.
Yep.
Just push them and go down. Here comes Baldwin's also known for the tilts. This is a 2-on-1 tilt. Kind of jump over and block the arm with the head when you got a 2-on-1, and it's effective. And Garrett got 2 back points out of it. There it is again, a little sloppy, but.
What did Blaine wrestle at again?
170 his freshman year, then 3 years at 182.
Okay.
So he came in. I think he started off at 82 and then ended up at 70.
Yeah, bigger than Garrett then. Yeah.
Oh yeah. They're very similar. It's just Blaine got the more potatoes.
We'll put it that way. Yeah.
Very similar wrestlers. Both have got a kind of a little nasty competitive streak in them that you like to see. Both are outstanding. Blaine's that's ankle pick right to the back, got the underhook, covered the head. Garrett's also a catcher, and Blaine.
That's right. Yeah.
Played a couple. He played at Century College and Northeast Nebraska, I believe. Now he's at St. Cloud, hanging his hat up there. So good for him.
Yeah.
And Garrett's a good little catcher. It's just Blaine, big, powerful kid, fast, strong. 200 pounds. Garrett's 144 pounds, plays with an attitude, and is very skilled also. It's just you don't notice him as much because Blaine was 200 pounds and was a very physically gifted athlete. But yeah, we're glad to have Garrett on the team. Tough kid. He's got, like I said, a little nasty attitude out there. He's up 10-1, which is kind of a nice feeling to be. It'd be nice to get a little pin in here. Get 16 points. Cut that lead almost in half. The Baldwin, for the most part, from 126 to 175, were really solid, and we feel we can compete with most teams. But Well, I will say Osceola loves the firemen's, and they love the chin whip and the lat whips. I got a text from a coach from Hammond that's watching it. Must be bored tonight.
Yeah. He's got a couple of really good wrestlers too this year.
Yeah, they do. It's going to be a fun duel in a couple weeks, and what's really sad about them, they had a really nice showing so far, but they're missing a state qualifier out of their lineup.
Who's that again?
St. Croix Central.
Yeah.
Noah Nussbaum. I think
Oh, Nussbaum. Yeah.
So I think when they get him back, and then they have another gentleman that's a little heavier. Oh boy.
Yeah, that'll be a squad.
That's going to be a tough team to beat. I kind of, beginning of the year, kind of thought St. Croix Falls in our regions was a team to beat, but I was like, boy, after Northern Badger, a big Christmas tournament, oof.
It'll be St. Croix something.
Yeah, it's going to be, yeah. So we got our work cut out in 2 weeks. We got Amory and Central. Oh, that's just a nice tight pinning combination there. Garrett Guthrie with the pin to 22-12. But now we got Graydon Monacan. He's up away. No, he's at 150. So we're sending him pretty much out. Okay. Oh, okay. So I've got Eric Kane Pomro. It's
I should know it because I feel like he might have signed up for track. I'm like, I should learn how to say his name.
Yeah, it's a
John Breeze. I know who that is.
Yeah, it's a relative of John Breeze. Well, good. Thank you, Pastor John.
Speaking of bus drivers.
Pastor John. And I had the pleasure tonight. I have not, I can't make excuses, but I watch a lot of church services on YouTube. But we have a new pastor, and what's the really cool thing about that is our new pastor's son is just joined wrestling last week. So we might get to see him against Osceola for his first match of the year.
Who'd you say that was?
It's Noah, and Noah Delano.
Okay, yeah, I don't recognize him.
I got to introduce myself to him before. I shook his hand, and really nice young kid, pretty excited. I hear a lot of good things. I don't have any kids involved in church groups, but I know that Kane said that he really enjoys the new pastor, and that's awesome.
Yeah.
So, not that we want to turn this into a religious format,
no,
but
then Jeremy will get
yeah, but it was kind of nice. We got a new kid out, and I really like that. So this is actually, I talked highly of the Mr. Reed Church earlier. He's out here against Graydon Monacan at their weights at 150. Graydon with a nice, simple, he got behind him, and Matt returned him for the takedown. So, let's see if he can just put more pressure on it, because I think Mr. Church kind of ran out a little gas and lost to that Blake Nelson. So maybe he's a little down, and Graydon can put it on him because he had a nice win against Ellsworth. So, end of the first period, 2-0 with the team score: Osceola 22, Baldwin-Woodville 10. Mr. Church is going down. So actually, going back to that Isaac Dunham. I'm Allie Peterson, former Baldwin grad, state champion, 95.
Oh. Coaches
at Somerset. He said that Isaac Dunham is very tough. And he sees him probably more than we do.
Yeah.
He had to come back for my really bad dad joke. He said, but make sure you don't eat a lot before you get tight-waisted. Because, yes, that might come up. So.
Yep.
All right, Big Rig. Just catching up. Another coach over in Hammond that we like to jaw with a little bit. Oh. I guess I'm not so sure what's going on here. I gave some bad advice. Osceola is just staying green, even though they moved to the other side. Well, I think a lot has to do with them. They can just walk out.
Yeah, like you were saying
Yeah.
before.
But I apologize. Somebody will correct me, I know, at some point.
Ooh. I meant to ask this earlier. Jake Kuzlik wasn't a wrestler, was he?
No.
Because his kids, I think, all Gabe and Colby, I think, really like wrestling. And I was like, I don't think Jake was.
Yeah, Colby's in middle school, 6th grader. Jake probably should have. Big, strong guy. Boy, he's just a big, big man. He was a talented basketball player. I mean, they went to the sectional finals a couple times in the early 2000s with Zach and Mr. Borowitz, A-star concrete.
Speaking of, yeah.
And I think Dan Kuslik, his brother, was on that team. Yeah, Jake, and then he went down to Stout and played football. I got to see him play big, strong, kind of force out there. But, you know, he's a bright kid, got his degree. He's got a very good job now. Sometimes, you know, when you're in college, it's not always about sports at some point.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, he was a fun athlete. The whole family, and then his sister Joanna went to state in the shot.
That's right. Yeah.
Gosh, there was an Ed in there. Every one of them's tough. And then Aaron wrestled. He wasn't able to wrestle his senior year, but another good all-around athlete. Probably 2010, right in that area. Maybe 07. I'm just drawing a blank. But really solid. You know, just tough, good farm kids, big community people. So Green's up 4-1. Reed was in on a shot. There's an escape for Mr. Monacan.
Oh, a little late.
The score, they'd already given it to him before the ref signaled it. That's what happens when you have people that know wrestling.
Who's working that down there?
It's Michigan Trunkle and Gray Hush and Don Timmerman. And then Darren Peterson's son was down there, Evan.
And I see Ryan there too.
Was that what?
Or Ryan, yeah, I don't know if Evan. Might be taking pictures.
Oh, yeah, maybe I got them mixed up in the names. All right, there's a takedown and a cut. We're looking to get, he's got him good and tired. Yeah, that's a slam right to your back.
Knock the air out of you.
Yeah. So he gets a point. We don't get the takedown. He bounced right back up, so whenever you get slammed, you automatically. So talking, you can just pipe in. I'll say. So when you elevate a person off the mat, whether it's a mat return, a double leg, single leg, whatever, you have to be able to let their arms be free so they can brace their fall. And if you take them straight back, you have to hit the mat first.
Oh.
So, and that's why, you know, we saw some big slams earlier, or big returns. And then what's this one different? He went to his back, and when you go to the back, you don't really have any defense.
No, not at all.
So.
And you would lose a point when you do that?
Yes, he got a slam call. I mean, I could explain how that works. If he got it like, let's say one of the two guys just ran off the mat, that'd be fleeing the mat, so there'd be another point added. No. So let's say Graydon ran off the mat real quick. Now all of a sudden he's got 2 penalty points against them. Now there's a penalty clock that starts, and it's hard to explain.
Yeah.
Because then there's cautions, and then there's, yeah. So Graydon went to cut him and did not get far enough away. Reed was quick-witted enough to grab the ankle right away, elevate it, and get a reversal. So it's when you cut people, you have to get away from them. So what he's probably going to do is alternative start here, triangle start, and jump up into like a front headlock and near side. There's a reversal to his back. So if he would have cut him clean, he'd have probably got the major.
Yeah.
But now we're over halfway to catching up. So Great Monacan with a 11-5 decision adds 3 points onto our score to make it Osceola 22, Baldwin-Woodville 13.
I should know who those two gentlemen are for us that are in their singles right now. Like I said, some of them I haven't seen in 6 years and look different.
Oh, wow. This is, wow. All right, Jeff Newton. This is Xavier. Let's say Xander Paulson.
Okay, Xander. Huh?
He was a freshman. Him and our 6-pounder are, we call them stepbrothers, but I'm not sure.
Oh.
Very nice. Very, very nice young man. He's coming back from an injury, got cleared. Did he make JV state? I think he went to the JV qualifier and made JV state. I talked to the enrichment coaches about him, and they said, however, they kind of miss him.
Yeah.
Too bad that he's ended up in Baldwin.
Drew Stark.
So, pretty excited. Super, once again, another super nice kid. So most of the kids on the team are a lot of fun. Really nice. Get pretty decent grades. And what the kids are really liking, they had it yesterday morning. They had a workout in the pool yesterday morning because Graydon Monacan is a lifeguard. Trevor Murdoch with a forfeit. Now Sam Aho will get a forfeit. And Mr. Noah.
There he is, yeah.
Noah Delano will be first varsity win in Baldwin.
Yeah, right.
Gets a forfeit.
The easy way.
Well, you had to make weight.
That's true, yeah. So that sometimes that's not so easy.
Yes. So I'm looking at the size of this young man, thinking, I'm sure Coach Kiefer is probably like,
yeah,
hey,
right there. He's like, hey, let me look at this guy.
So there you go. I will say, though, before, I haven't done the calculation, haven't kept track, but Osceola might have beat us in matches wrestled.
Yeah, we should have kept track.
Yeah, and that's one thing, we're kind of disappointed. A couple matches I think we'd want back. Maybe we didn't. Well, 13-20, they got a forfeit at 26. They won 32. We won 38. 44, 50. So they didn't have anybody after that. So comes on to this one. Let's see what Kane can do. I know that Mr. Alex Williman, it comes from a big wrestling family. Once again, my claim to fame, I was texting him early while I was on the air. We were going to go there for a tournament. He runs the middle school tournament.
No.
So, good wrestling family. He had an older brother that was, oh gosh, I forget his name. Really, really solid wrestler. He was also a lightweight.
Isaac Mullen.
So Baldwin's up after all the runner forfeits. Is up 49-22. And, well, I know we'll figure it out later, but definitely Osceola's getting the bonus points. So does anybody have any update on how's the girls doing in Altoona?
Oh my goodness gracious! I forgot all about that. Or the boys.
Oh, it's the boys.
I meant to put it on the computer, and this is so entertaining that I forgot to,
Well,
which is good.
I thought the girls were in Altoona.
The girls play Central here tomorrow. This boys in Altoona. Girls, like a C team, went to Osceola, but
Oh, okay.
no, I think because that's why Nygaard went to watch Cade. Or not Cade. Yeah, Cade and C team.
Oh, okay.
Which was
Yeah, I can't.
Shoot, I completely forgot. I don't even know what their live stream is.
Yeah, I just kind of figured when he said he was going down there, I thought his daughter. Oh, so Mr. Williman got a takedown, put in an armbar, and with authority took him over to his back. Saved by the bell on that one. So 3 back points. Alex Williman up 5-0. That's Alex deferred. Oh, beautiful low single. Nice shot. Kane deferred, or Alex deferred. Kane took both up, and Mr. Williman put in. Oh, beautiful low single right off the whistle. Oh, wow, there's a little fight there. Cuts into the 7-0 lead to make it 7-3. Got the escape and the takedown. Oh, and Kane returns him to his back. He's got to follow around. There you go. A little fire out of Mr. Kane. Pormable. I can't say.
I know. I should know how to say it too. Parembo?
Parembo?
Sounds right. Parembo. Colombo.
Yeah, there you go. So we apologize, Mr. John Reeves. It's a relative. But yeah, coming back with a little fire. It goes the other way, you know. He's said, yeah, maybe I lost the first period really bad and got turned, but don't care. I'm going to win this next period. So I kind of like that. Little Green, he's crossing his feet on the stands. You don't like to see that because, yeah, you get your feet too close together and get tied up. Oh, and he's keeping the leg splits, Mr. Williman is. You posting that knee right in the middle and keep him from getting that. It just puts you in an odd spot and you can expose the back. Oh, got out of there. Good job, Kane. All right.
Looks like it was. Oh, that's the end of that. Altoona 61, Baldwin looks like 55 maybe.
Okay.
So still working on getting out of that. You know, I think it's a 6-7 game skid now.
Well, I know Principal Benoit said it was a 5-game skid. Then they must have lost the other night.
Gosh, yeah, I'm trying to think of who they played.
Tuesday and then.
Oh, to Central, yep. So that'd be what, 6, and then tonight 7.
Yeah, that's.
Those are hard. They're hard to get out of. But.
So started the third period, 10-3. Mr. Alex Williman over Kane. And I'll leave the last name alone right now. Alex with a takedown, just extend his lead 12-3. Riding him pretty tough. But hey, Kane came back with that escape and the takedown. And, he's not wrestling tough. Like I said, they've got some good young kids over there that really are impressing me. Working hard.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, I haven't this year. We've had so good winners the past few years. Heard the hockey team's little under 500, kind of in the same boat as the boys. I heard the girls are doing quite well.
They are, yeah. They're playing.
Hockey. And then the girls basketball.
Fusion, yeah.
I caught a game. Boy, they got some kids that want to play hard on that girls team.
They do. They got height too. Both squads kind of have height.
And as 12-2 lead as it's closing down. But the one thing I don't get basketball. I see tall kids and they're standing a long ways away from the hoop.
Yeah, it's like, get down there. Come on. I'm sure Benoit thinks the same thing, Dory.
But I guess everything's about the three, so.
Yeah, worth more than two. That's what, man, yeah.
So, well, right here, Alex Willman wraps up the duel with a 12-3 major decision to bring the final score, Baldwin-Woodville 49, Osceola 26. Very good. Hey, Osceola came, their matches, they came to wrestle. Very impressive. It just, hopefully they get their guys back for regionals, and we got some kids that are going to make some noise. So, outside of that, I don't know what we got to do to shut her down.
No, we just kind of say goodbye. Maybe when's the next home wrestling event?
Our next home wrestling is Thursday, February 1st.
Okay, that was the one you were talking about.
Yeah, with Waconia and Hudson. And Lacrosse Aquinas tomorrow night.
Yep.
And in 2 weeks, we'll be at St. Croix Central with Amory and St. Croix Central. And that should be a lot of fun that night. So, all right, signing off. Thanks for listening and have a great evening.